Sorry. Steph said something, I think. Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to Saga of Dice. I'm doing the intro now. It's me, Carson. Hello.
Usually we wait a few more seconds. Hope everything's okay. Like if you
Yes, it's good.
if you
It's
want
good.
okay, if you want you can
I was just
message
making
me.
a comment that my partner said something, I think, mockingly to me, and then I looked over, and then she had like a devious grin on her face, and she said, "You didn't hear what I said, right?" I said, "No," and she said, "Good,"
Oh man.
and that's it.
Oh dear. Oh shoot. We were talking obviously before the live stream. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of AoS Trash Pandas. I'm your host, Rob, and with me, as usual, is Mr. Carson Daly.
Daly?
Yeah, I'm mispronouncing Daly.
Like a llama?
Or sorry, it was Carbson Daly.
Oh,
Right?
I think so.
Moving right along. Yeah. Oh God, I forgot to turn off the live reactions. I don't care. I don't mind the what do you call it? I don't care when the hearts go up. I don't even notice, if I'm being honest. The problem with live reactions is just that it cuts off the bottom right of the chat. And because of our live stream, Mr. Kenrick, I couldn't reuse the same. Anyway, this is a mumbo jumbo that no one cares about, actually. Yeah, by the way, so if you guys are new here, we mostly talk about AoS, but we also mostly talk about everything but AoS. That's not true. We do diverge, but as Kiki in the chat said, likes for the like god, subscribe if you guys are into this kind of thing. But yeah, moving right along, did you see the preview image?
I did see it, and I also saw the consensus of it, so I'm going to kind of abstain.
Oh, okay.
Clearly not AoS. It's all I'm going to say. I'm not sure what the chat thinks. I'm not sure what you think. Or what do you think?
I'm going to say, like, my first sort of like thought was like a new armature or some kind of like mini knight. It looks kind of too skinny to be like a big thick boy knight, but yeah.
Okay. So this has nothing to do with what you just said, and I wasn't listening, to be quite honest.
That's
but
fine.
I am looking at the chat.
Yeah.
And Dale said something which I believe is Japanese, and I know that you speak Japanese. And I'm going to attempt to pronounce what he just said.
Please do.
Ohayo gozaimasu ogenki desu.
Yeah, he's pretty close there. Actually, no, that's fine.
Or is he?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, yeah. You're fine. Yeah. Ohayo gozaimasu is good morning. And ogenki desu ka is like, how are you? Usually only use it if you haven't seen someone in a while, which is true. We haven't seen Dale in a little while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
yeah. He
says greetings from Wednesday 11 a.m. in Japan. It's awesome, dude. I forgot, like, I saw your picture from the plane, but I did not remember that you were actively remember that you were in Japan.
We just assumed he wasn't going to make it because he was on a Boeing.
That's true. He did take a picture from a Boeing, and our friend Alex was definitely reflected somehow off of the engine. Yeah. By the way, where are you in Japan? Are you in Tokyo, Dale? Just curious.
Send us your address, please.
Send us your hotel name and room number immediately. Hey, Carson, Coach and I sent you a pic from Blood Right Teams tournament in Australia. Ended up playing monster trucks. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Wow.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
Picture, but he didn't. So Coach sent me the picture of what I now know as you. But he didn't give me any context. I didn't actually know that that's what you were doing. He just said you played ogres, and I was like, seems like a good guy.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's so cool. Thanks for joining us. I think, if I could be wrong, Bogan of Sigmar, but I believe a Bogan is like a mythical Scottish ghost, and we have our own Scottish ghost in the chat, who's Dale. So I think it's like some kind of malevolent ghost. I could be wrong. I I used to read a lot about that kind of thing. I think it might be part of the Vashtor Dark Tech Army. Oh, the Dark Mech Army. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
That's what people were saying. Yeah, like
really. We need Dark Mechanicus. Like, even just putting him Vashtor in like Space Marines was dumb. Like just say he's an independent operator and he can go in any, like, yeah. Dark Mechanicus is like the most hyped thing to come to 40K since I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I guess Knights. Yeah, Knights. I'm gonna say Knights.
Yeah, I'm glad that I hope it is Dark Mechanicus, just because a new faction would be cool. We saw Votan as like a new faction like somewhat recently, which is awesome. And I definitely think they need to have some more new ones. Granted, Dark Mechanicus is like one of my least favorite Warhammer tropes, which is just like, what if we took the good guy and made him dark bad guy? What? Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's kind of my whole complaint, I think, with that the whole thing for sure. Shinbuya City. I don't know Shinbuya unless do you mean Shibuya in the Tokyo toll, or do you mean like another city that's like a small city that I've never heard of? If you're in Shinbuya City, what prefecture is that in? I don't know. A bogan is usually like a surf bro. Okay, maybe it's pronounced. Maybe it's a bogan. I thought it was a bogan, but it's like some.
We all think different things because Bogan and Sigmar just responded saying it's also our version of Trailer Park Lad. So
I see.
Different descriptions
yeah, so maybe it's Shibuya. Okay, yeah, you're in Tokyo, right on. Yeah, Shibuya is the place like very famously that has the like that intersection that goes. It goes like every way. It looks like a spider web, and then everyone crosses at the same time. That's where that is. And I used to go to a comic book shop there, and it was like this. It's like the size of like your average, like, I don't know, like bathroom in like a house. It's so small, but it was like 4 stories up. You could just go straight up. You know what I mean? You're just like, and like all the stairs over there, like, they tend to be very steep. Lack of space and all that. But no, that's awesome. Took a monster truck, lost to the friendly local game store. I see. List. I thought you were saying you lost to something, and I was just like, wait, this is not computing right in my brain.
I lost and then I won.
Oh man. List to the N1. Nice. Stonehorns just seem like so much. If I was gonna do it, I would have been all Stonehorns and the guys I always forget, the saber-tooth tiger, Mornfang pack.
Okay.
They're not saber-tooth tigers.
Actually, I was like,
I know, but like I don't know why I still
like
think
the
of them.
goofiest models in the range almost.
They are pretty ugly. Yeah, them and the Yetis, in all of the game almost, right? No, it's no worries, guys. I just I'm just trying to be, because like you never know, because I was a long time ago I was going up with my dad to we were going up hunting, and we were passing through Quesnel, and if you go into Quesnel, outside of it below it says welcome to Quesnel, and that says sister city to like Shichioji, Japan, or something like that. I don't remember the exact name of it. And I was going into it, and I was like, where the hell is Shichioji, Japan, or whatever, right? And my dad's like, where the hell is Quesnel? I was like, you're right. Like, that's why they're sister cities, you see, because they're just in the middle of nowhere. I like Quesnel, by the way. I'm not shitting on Quesnel. I love Quesnel. Quesnel's actually a really nice town, and the people were very friendly to me, which is not always the case when you go into like a random town. I won't mention the name of it, but I went into this one town a long time ago, and the people would all like eye you, like what are you doing here? And we were camping, out in the woods, and then we went into the hotel to have a shower, and the lady's like, what are you guys here for? Like, why are you here? I was just like, what? Like, you're the hotel? Like, sorry, like we're coming here to, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, you never know, but yeah, anyway. I love the idea though, the Dark Mechanicus, like that's pretty hype. I mean, I know that it's kind of it's kind of boring, like you said, to just take like a good thing and make it the bad guy version. But like, I don't know, like people have been asking for Dark Mechanicus for so long. Like I remember before, because Mechanicus came out in 7th edition 40k, and I remember like hearing about it after the fact. You know, because when I started playing Age of Sigmar was right after Mechanicus came out, and I remember people kind of saying we were hoping it was Dark Mechanicus at the time, and that was 8 years ago. So that's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? So I think people have been looking for it for a while. Like it's way more hype. Like, okay, would you agree that like even if it, like making the bad guy, just twisting it and being like, this is the bad guy version, do you think it's at least more interesting than Custodes? And I'm not crapping on Custodes. I just mean because Custodes are basically Space Marines. They're just like slightly bigger bodyguard Space Marines.
Space Marines.
Yeah, exactly. They're the Space Marines, right? Like, yeah. I think it's still more interesting than that, even from like an outside perspective.
I agree. Yeah,
like, okay.
It definitely still is. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. I'm just saying like it's kind of it's a trope at this point. So,
yeah.
Especially in Warhammer, where it's just like, here's the bad guy version of the good guy.
It's true.
Who isn't even very good. It's a trope everywhere, to be honest. But I really liked, like I appreciated that Votan came out because it was different.
Yep.
From that, like, granted, it was kind of just like a reimagining of squats, but yeah. I don't, and like Sigmar is one, like we're spoiled for armies like that.
We are, yeah. We don't have
so many different ones.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want them to do that in Sigmar. Just to be clear, like I never want to see Chaos Sigmarines or even Death Marines, which were rumored back in 2nd edition. Like everyone was sure at the start of 2nd edition because it was like the Death edition. Dale says, "Aren't ogres just dad bod tall orcs?"
You take that back.
It's now immortalized, actually, and shots fired. I mean, ogres are actually like, I know ogres are part of traditional like mythology and everything. Like even in like, I think there's an ogre. Even if it's not an ogre, man, it is the most perfect ogre. Did you ever watch the Flight of Dragons, like animated cartoon? No. It's beautiful and it holds up. James Earl Jones plays the bad guy. The music is stunning. The animation is, it's meant for kids, but like you can watch it as an adult and still really enjoy it because the story and the voice acting and everything in it, just the animation's a little bit cartoony, but there's an ogre or something in there. And man, I still remember him. He was kind of terrifying, Yeah. Really well done.
What I like about ogres, especially like the AoS imagining of them, is that they're so uncomplicated.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people latch onto them. It's just like, I just want to charge stuff and eat and just exist, essentially. And it's just like I think ogres is like one of the most pure imaginings of like, or like the pure representation of like what destruction is, where it's just, they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like going around and they're clearly like a menace. But everything that they do is for like one extremely simple purpose, which is just, I'm hungry. Like if you're dispelling magic, no, you're eating the magic.
Yeah.
Or you're giving yourself a buff. It's like, I'm just eating some good meat. Or like everything is just eating, and it's just very like simple and fun, which is what I like about it. So it's like there's tons of like super complex and interesting stories, like in all Warhammer lore. But it's nice to just have this refreshing, simple action.
Yeah, sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
I think Iron Jaws are also quite simple. It's just like we just fight. Like it's all about fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Obviously there's Gits, and then ogres, orcs, Gits. What's the other one?
Sons of Behemoth.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they existed.
Actually, I don't know what the goal of Sons of Behemoth even is.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
They're just big.
I think that's maybe where they did probably drop. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we probably just don't know. We should probably just shut up. Moving right along. So there is a Warhammer Skulls showcase. That's the video game properties of Warhammer. They're doing a stream at like 9 a.m. our time on the 23rd of May. So that's kind of, it's kind of cool. Personally, I'm only interested in Warhammer 3 and Space Marine 2 in terms of like what I will pay attention to. But even Space Marine 2, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like it's coming out in September. I saw like 20 minutes of new gameplay footage and it looks freaking awesome. I was sold as soon as they announced it, like without even seeing gameplay footage. So I don't know, like even that I'm kind of like, whatever, maybe Darktide. Darktide might be cool. Yeah,
maybe. I've always been interested to try Bolt Gun. I heard that was like a really...
It's like Doom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's an homage to Doom, except you're a Space Marine, essentially.
I could, if they made the graphics just a little bit better, I think I would have been okay. But like, it's so pixelated, it kind of hurts my eyes.
That's fair. I think they intentionally did that, though.
No, I know. It's an artistic choice, and I respect it. I actually do respect it, by the way. But it just, for me, it's like if you got like, some people get nausea from playing first-person shooters, and they're just like, I can't play them because I get nauseous. You're just like, okay, well, it's kind of like that for me. Space Marine 2 does look freaking rad. I agree with Dale and Kenrick, for sure. The Hansel of GW games. Which one is the Hansel? After what's happened to the realm of ruin. Oh, right on. Wait, why is it?
Doesn't like that. It's so hot right now.
Oh, I don't.
From Zoolander? That's what.
I don't remember Zoolander. It's been so long. It's been many moons, Carson. It's been many moons since I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Rob with the hot takes. It is cool. I'm just saying it's not for me. I'm not saying it's bad. It was not some kind of, quality comment on the quality of its make. Anyway, moving right along, we've got a terrain article that went up last week. I guess time to rewatch Zoolander. I want to watch Tropic Thunder, because I remember that being insanely funny, and it's been, I don't think I've watched it since it came out, so I'd like to see that again. But okay, I guess so. We'll go into the terrain article.
Let's do it.
Cool. You'll find conditions for visibility and moving over terrain in the core rules, and it's all simple and intuitive. Models can clamber and vault over terrain features that are 1 inch or less in height with no penalty at all, which is awesome. That's what I like to see. Any move over terrain taller than 1 inch must count the vertical distance as part of their move. Units and models can no longer finish a move mid-climb, which is also excellent, by the way, for quality of life. But they now choose to jump down from terrain instead of climbing, landing on a lower level or on the floor. This ends the move. That's so cool. Like, I always thought, like why do you have to like pay for vertical and like both ways? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be one thing if you were like, if there was like a ladder or something on both sides, but like, who isn't jumping off of that? Like, especially in the Mortal Realms,
Especially when you have like a big monster that can't fly. It's like tiptoeing its way down some like...
Yeah. Explain that to me,
Yeah.
Cool. So any model from the lowest clan rat to the most imposing reclusian can hide from another's line of sight or by hunkering down behind terrain. This is important for combat range because you're only in combat if you're both within combat range and visible to an opponent. You cannot charge units lurking behind solid walls. The Terrain Advanced Rules module features more in-depth rules, including a table with the 5 universal abilities that define what your scenery pieces do in games. One is cover. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for targets that target a unit that is behind or wholly on this terrain feature, unless that unit charged or has the fly keyword. Impassable models cannot move across, be set up on, or end moves. It's weirdly small on my screen. That are part of this terrain feature. Obscuring, a unit cannot be targeted by shooting attacks if it is behind or wholly on this terrain feature, unless it has the fly keyword. I really like that I wish we'd had that a long time ago. Places of power. Within 3 inches of the terrain feature, you can use the active place of power ability, and which we'll get into in a moment. And unstable models can move across but cannot be set up on or end any type of move on any part of this terrain feature that is more than 1 inches tall. What do you think about this?
I think it's pretty interesting. It lays a lot of groundwork for things that were already pretty popular. Sorry about barking.
I actually got to hear that one for once. I agree with no.
Anyway, sorry. I like that they removed some of the wound count qualifiers for some pieces of terrain.
Right.
So you can have 10 wounds and still be obscured. At least that's what we have to assume on these universal terrain abilities. And it also gives a downside to having fly, because it's neat that something that can fly can't hide from shooting attacks from super far away. I'm tepid on it, I think, where it's just all of these things make sense, but how's it going to be in the context of all of the terrain rules? So yeah. What about yourself?
I really like it. I'm not sure what I think about the whole fly thing, because you pay for fly in points ostensibly, maybe you don't in the new edition, and if that's the case, that's one thing. And fly is very powerful as it is. So I just think that I'm not sure that it needs a downside, if you've got a unit of ether wings that are behind this giant wall, why can't they hide? What? You know what I mean? They're tiny little birds, man. Whereas, if you've got what's his name? The guy from the end times, Archeon. God dang it, I couldn't come up with his name. He's such a big model, so that's kind of where I kind of get the way they do it in 40k a little bit better, where it's if you're colossal, then you can't hide behind things or whatever that they have that rule. I'm not sure. I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's we have to see it actually. We have to see all the rules. We have to see how it's implemented. We have to know so many things behind it, but. That's why I think my one little niggling thing out of all of it, and I like it though, overall.
Yeah, totally fair. I do wonder if true line of sight is going to remain, because if that's the case, then I could see it being this shooting model can see those aether wings. They just happen to be behind an obscuring thing, but because they can fly, that's the thing that doesn't qualify them.
Right.
And I think that's kind of an important distinction to make, where if we're treating obscuring as true line of sight now, then yes, this is a much bigger nerf to flying compared to regular units than not flying is. But
right.
Yeah, we'll have to see for sure.
It'll be interesting. I'm assuming we're still using true line of sight, so if you can actually hide the birds behind them, and at the end of the day, it might just be okay, well. A lot of this stuff can get patched into tournaments, like the Frontline Gaming guys did for ITC for 40k, way back in 8th edition. There's multiple solutions to this. A lot of the world doesn't use Mystic Terrain, especially here where we are, and that's it's the community. Luckily, has the ability to make little changes that we want to see anyway. So that's cool.
Yep.
The big stompy robot we think is the Dark Mechanicus. I was saying the same thing, Bahamut. I said an Armiger or something like that, but people seem to think it's maybe Dark Mechanicus. Cool things. Yeah. This greatly simplified from the previous system and focuses on clear codification that's fair for both players. Cover offers your units a modicum of protection unless they're fresh off a charge or flapping around in the air. And there's no restriction on how far behind a piece of intervening terrain a unit needs to be to benefit. That's pretty cool too. I like that. Impassable and obscuring terrain represents challenges for movement and visibility on the battlefield, while unstable terrain is commonly applied to anything from ruins to debris. You may clamber over it to reposition, but you can't end a move on it, so you don't need to worry about trying to rebalance your miniature or irregular terrain. You may, however, end your move on sections of the terrain that are under 1 inch tall. So that's interesting. So I guess you can kind of put your base, like, you know what I mean, like tilt it onto stuff if you need to, and that kind of fixes some of the issues with giants before. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I also kind of like that. I mean, this is going to mess with some people's terrain, I think. But I think back to a moment in LVO, I think it was my game 5, where I always ask my opponent before the game, like, does this wall, because it's technically covered, do we have to like move up and down, or can we just not interact with it? Or so can you just move through it, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like you have to count the verticality, and he wanted us to count the verticality for it, and it was like a piece of like ruins, where they're kind of like a weird like L junction,
like the
thing,
Azurite thing that I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay.
And for most of the game, my Stonehorn was just like sat on top of it.
Yeah.
And it was just so much like I felt bad because I was just like, he is here. Like, this is where like I'm drawing a line down at the bottom where like his base technically is.
Yeah.
To be like in combat with him and stuff like that. And it was just like such a pain that I feel like you shouldn't be able to get into situations like that. And it sucks because like people are going to be printing their own terrain that's going to like not jive with GW's rules forever. But I'm a big supporter of like unstable as a common rule on a lot of pieces of terrain.
Yeah, I agree, and it makes for an interesting kind of strategic sort of thing. You got to bail and do work. Thanks for tuning in, Dale. We love you too, man. I hope you have a great time out in Japan. Let me know if you need anything or if I can help. But yeah, I totally agree. Like you can't set up on it either. So like it just I don't know. There's some funky stuff there. Like if you're bringing your FEC guys in, you're like, okay, well, I can't end my move. So you can't set up on it, right? Like this is just like an example. You bring in your crypt flares, or your crypt flares, and then you cast that spell to move them. But you're like, okay, well, I'm just on this side of the terrain. I want to go that way. But if I roll a 1, then I can't end on it anyway. So, like, I don't know. There's just some kind of fun strategic sort of stuff to be had there. Yo, what up, Darren? Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Sorry, I almost missed it because I was, yeah. But yeah. Places of power provide an action that lets your heroes tap into arcane energies, unlocking their casting, chanting, and dispelling and banishing potential at the risk of being overwhelmed by energy and suffering mortal damage. So active place of power. So this is that thing that we just saw a minute ago up here. Places of power. So if heroes are within 3 inches, they can use this ability. Pick start of any turn. So it's at the start of your turn. Pick a friendly hero within 3 inches of any place of power to use this ability. Roll a dice. On a 1, inflict D3 mortal damage on that hero. On a 2 up, if that hero is a wizard or priest, add 1 to casting, or chanting rolls. Not unbinding. I almost said it just there, but then it says if that hero is not a wizard or priest, they can use the unbind or banish manifestation ability this turn as if they had a wizard 1 level. So that's pretty interesting. I like this, and I'm looking forward to the terrain like having suggested placement. Does that make sense? I'm looking forward to not rolling and having random stuff happen. I don't think that's as much fun.
Yeah, a lot of tournaments will do terrain maps, and it kind of looks like, bit of a spoiler, but it kind of looks like later in the article that's what they're going for, where they'll show you this is where things should go and this is probably what they should kind of be. I also like that everything that we've seen so far, you have bonuses to casting, but you don't really have bonuses to unbinding. Like, I don't think we've seen anything yet. Even on Nagash's War Scroll, there's no bonuses to unbind.
Yeah.
So it really seems like while you might be really good at getting your own magic off, you might not be very good at shutting other people's magic down, which I'm all here for.
I'm so for it. I
It really
couldn't
sucks
agree
going
more.
against like Seraphon, who's like, yeah, I got like +3 or +4 to unbind
Yeah,
all across the table, and you're like,
all
"Ooh, I
across
guess
the
I'm just
table.
not gonna cast them."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, and I liked like that was one of the major bummers. Like I remember, like I've said from the beginning, Storm Fiends are a trap. They're not good, and like now you can if you play against people who don't know like how to counter them or just maybe they're new to the game or whatever, then they can be like way too powerful. They can seem broken. They can seem dumb. I've had them painted up since AoS first edition, and you almost never see me bring them on the channel because I genuinely think that they're not good. So they're either like they're good against people who like you don't want to use really strong things against, or they're just bad against people who are really good at the game, like yourself or Matthias or whatever. It's just like, man, this is just gonna feel bad. Anyway, but the problem too with them, this is where I was going with it, is that they need more warp power. Otherwise, they suck for everyone. I don't care who you are, right? So, it's like, okay, maybe like a little more than a third of my list is based off of whether I get this one spell off or not. And then it's just like, okay, well, it doesn't matter where you are on the board. I'm unbinding it, and I have +3 or 4, and it's just like, I'm never going to get this off. Maybe in the new edition, or in the current Warhammer, what do you call it, the General's Handbook, where I can add dice onto it. Maybe they're a little bit more viable now, but I don't really care. I still think that they have a lot of counters and stuff that you can do against them. But putting that aside, like, if you have a spell that you really want to get off, it feels bad. It's like, okay, I don't get a magic phase. Like, my army depends on my magic phase, and I'm going against Zeech or Seraphon or some kind of, or Teclis or whatever before this current GHB, and it's just like, okay, this feels bad, So, yeah.
100%.
You're going to Japan in September, Kenrick? That's awesome, dude. Yeah, hit me up. Anyone. I'm happy to help. I went to high school and university there, and I can certainly, I would be happy to help. Go to Kyushu. That's my first piece of advice. Oh my God, that place is awesome. The food's amazing. So moving on down to the next part. So as you alluded to earlier, this battle plan called the Vice, and I think we did see this before, didn't we? In like a previous article.
We did see the Vice, we just didn't have an explanation as to like what these actually are.
That's right. That's what it was. We saw the terrain map. We didn't see what it meant. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. So, so that you can, if you guys, I mean, I'm sorry if you're just listening, like Kenrick obviously is right now, but, so we've got, can you explain this terrain map actually?
Sure. So what you're seeing here is you kind of have, on the Vice, I feel like they probably should have picked a simpler mission to explain this on, because you see like the objectives like narrowing down on the center and stuff like that. It might have been good to like show us like just a simple like 3 objective one or something like that.
They're really playing their cards close to the chest here.
But you can see eight little circles that have little kind of icons in them.
Yep.
And there's a key, obviously, that it shows there, where you see like small and medium terrain for area or obstacle terrain, or obscuring terrain, or a place of power. I'm just going to read out what it says, like on the little like text on the Vice. It says the map layout. This map layout can also be used for border war, focal points, shifting objectives, the Jaws of Calais, and Battlefield Pass. And then area terrain examples would be like hills or a storm vault, and the terrain abilities for those would be cover. So as we saw above, like the small and medium area terrain would just give you -1 to hit if you're on wholly on or behind that piece of terrain, which it looks like I see one in like kind of the center top right. I see one small one, or I guess there's like 2 like diagonally, kind of like near the center, and then there's like even more diagonally further out. So those are like all of the area terrain, and then it's saying that you should probably put some obscuring terrain, both medium, kind of like in the center of the board, a little bit further out to the sides, and then 2 places of power that are both small.
Yep.
So Yeah, it's just like a little guide, which is kind of neat. And then you can see on the right there where I'm actually like borderline seeing this for the first time also. Terrain type, action terrain, scenery pieces per terrain feature, size small. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, to be honest. That
Yeah,
little like table that they're showing us.
yeah.
It's just a descriptor for
I'm not sure
yeah,
what the
kind of weird.
point of it is. Oh, I
Weird.
see. I guess it's to, because like the forests have like three parts to them or something. Maybe I'm not sure. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean this is interesting. So you got two medium size on this particular map, and we should point out that it is this particular map we're only talking about here. You've got two medium sized obscuring. You've got two area terrain or obstacles that are medium as well. You've got two small places of power and two small area terrain slash obstacles. So that's
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. Like in terms of the mix there. Like I'm wondering if sometimes they'll have like I can't. I would think sometimes they're going to have like maybe four pieces of obscuring. You know what I mean? And sometimes they'll have only two pieces of area terrain, and maybe they'll have. I don't think you'll ever see more than two places of power, but maybe. But that's something that they can play with, and it's interesting. You know?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that this specific battle plan or this like terrain map doesn't include any unstable or impassable terrain either. Like it's all just
Yeah.
I see cover unstable. Oh, never mind. Sorry, an obscuring terrain it could be unstable. There's no impassable though. None of these are impassable. So
No, none of them are in. Wait, how do we know if
you
they're
see under terrain abilities for each thing at the top there.
terrain?
So area terrain
Oh,
abilities would
I
just be
see.
cover. Obstacles would be cover and unstable,
I see.
which would be the -1 to hit, and also no stopping movement on anything that's taller than an inch.
So in other ones, we will probably see like unstable and different other kinds of terrain, I guess.
Yeah,
And they'll have their own sort of symbols, I would imagine.
yeah. I wonder how much people are going to use these like terrain maps, or if they're going to end up just making their own for tournaments.
I I think I would like to try using their suggestion because I found them very good in ninth edition, 40K. I thought their terrain maps were very good. In fact, they were my favorite for a good long while. So I would like to try them, but like it's one of those things where it's like, we'll try it your way, and if it sucks, then we'll do our own thing. But yeah,
100%.
Cool.
I agree. Do you want me to continue on, or do you want to?
Sure. Would you mind? Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. So next it says, unlike faction terrain, which can be targeted and destroyed, regular scenery pieces are indestructible, so you will always have to factor them in as you maneuver around the battlefield while you contend for objectives. There may be some cases where a unit has barricaded themselves upon a terrain feature to secure line of sight with their ranged weapons, or simply to provoke the enemy with taunts. We're looking at the gloom spike kits here. Even if there is no room for your unit to get up there too, you'll still be able to charge them so long as you end with half inch of the terrain feature instead. Within.
Yeah. The old proofreading guys.
Yeah.
Again.
Then it says tomorrow we'll be taking a brief detour into the mortal realms themselves with a fantastic primer on how regular folk, and this is basically just talking about.
It's like lore stuff.
I think it was the Callus and Toll
It was. Yep.
video,
Yep.
which you should go check out.
I can pull that up too if people want. But I,
We can have people watch it on their own time. I think.
yeah, I think that's good. I'm more a fan of Callus and Toll's music rather than their video essays.
Callus and Toll.
Callus and Toll. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat and in the comments section? I'd be curious. We've been talking about new terrain like since AoS 2. We've been like, yeah, we could really use some cool terrain features ever since they like got them properly in 9th edition. And so then when we went into 3rd edition, we were like, well, obviously we're going to get terrain rules. Nope. It was just like the biggest drop ball in the entire edition, other than maybe not getting rid of the, the combat ranges or whatever. But yeah, that was a big deal to a lot of people, and so I think this is going to really make a big difference. Yeah,
I hope so. Terrain rules are, it's kind of one of those
important
things where you can't really know how you like it until you try it.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We're probably gonna have to play a couple more games of like using these terrain rules once we know everything, and once we have like the full rules in our hands. But we shall see.
We shall see.
I like that they're putting more attention on it. Period. Like that's a plus for me. But
for sure,
I'm gonna kind of withhold my judgment until we actually put some models on the table. So
I agree. I think my favorite terrain rules thus far were actually 9th edition, but maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't really know 10th edition. I know a lot of people's complaint about 9th edition 40k terrain rules was that they were too complicated. But I was going from like not having anything to having a smorgasbord of terrain rules to pick from. So that was really fun for me. But I can see people not thinking that way. Like I can see some people going like, it's too much, man. Like I know a lot of us were making flashcards and stuff like that to learn the 9th edition terrain rules. But more terrain, as Will said, and Bahamut said, just having, as they both said, just having more terrain in general and an idea of how to use them would be great. And then last but certainly not least, I know Kenrick was really excited for this. We've got kind of like a preview article for the preview show. And we saw this, what we think is a Griffhound, right? And I gotta say, this Otto van Bismarck Griffhound guy is glorious. Like, he's so freaking awesome. I want a Griffhound now. Where do I get a Griffhound?
Probably the starter box.
The starter box, maybe. Yeah, probably.
I would imagine. So. I like that this looks actually more canine.
Yeah.
Than the existing Griffhounds too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like kind of like the shell. It almost looks like the Fenris wolves or Fenrisian wolves.
Totally. Yeah. Very similar. The shaggy fur. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. The shaggy fur kind of makes sense too if they're going with the whole Reclusian thing. If there's like some Stormcast that are borderline
right,
they have these like shaggy animals following them around too.
Well, they're just out in the wilds. Like they don't go back and have a shower and give their dog a bath. They're just like out there. The fur's all matted and they do what they need to. Cut out the matted fur with their swords. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I just love the sculpt, to be honest. Like we're gonna watch it. I've got that other image locked and loaded, and we are going to be previewing the live show. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time. I get that they're showing. Oh, they do have it on here now. Well, Eastern time, 1:45.
This is the non-AoS preview show for Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Scroll
I was like,
the,
what? Got you.
Yeah.
So the Mortal Realms Reforged preview, that is 7 p.m. Central Time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific, and it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 1 a.m. London Time.
We gotta stop with these time zones.
I swear to God, like I know what they're doing here. Like if it's on the Pacific Coast, they put the time in the it's whatever time zone is the local time zone. Plus they add British time because they're a British company, and that's fair, I suppose. I just yeah. Oh wait, they also put it here: Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Friday 2 a.m. What is Like, that's crazy, man. That's too much.
Friday 10 a.m. AES? I guess Australian Eastern Standard Time? Is that what that stands for?
Oh, maybe. But since when do they care about Australia, though? They clearly hate those guys. Have you seen the prices? I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone calm down.
That's true. The I'm assuming what they're doing is they have like 7 p.m. CDT because that's Dallas's time, I think.
Is it in
That's the
Dallas?
main thing. This is in Dallas, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
I didn't.
the preview is, or like the U.S. Open, the first one. It's like, yeah, that's Dallas. I'm pretty sure they're on CDT, and then
Yeah, that makes
they've
sense.
got EDT down there because I think the East Coast is probably just more populated than the West Coast, and West Coast is used to just being like, I know how far ahead the Eastern time is than Pacific. So
Yeah,
there we go.
that's also
Everybody
true.
uses that as a benchmark. So
Yeah, I think like, yeah. Anyway, like Central Time, I'm just like I now currently remember that it's 2 hours ahead, and Mountain Time is 1 hour ahead. But like sometimes I forget. I conflate the two. Just like, is it Mountain Time that's 2 hours ahead? No, it's not. That's right. Anyway, we will be watching it live, and we did get this really cool preview image, which I want to leave up for the rest of the show. Now, no, I'm not talking about the half-naked man to the left, who I think he's a wrestler, right?
the Kip guy.
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
with the who looks
Yeah,
like
yeah, he's on
okay.
screen now. I see him. Yeah, I think this is hilarious that they that they have like professional wrestlers that are going to be playing Spearhead.
Yeah,
I'm so curious to know if these are just like wrestlers who happen to be also board game enjoyers and they decided to learn
Oh.
Spearhead truly, or if they're going to be putting on the theatrics like just going for it. I would love if it was the latter, but man. It's like, oh yeah, roll this d6, and if it's a 6, then you're done, brother.
that I would actually tune in for. I bet you it's much more like low key. Oh man, it better be. If they're gonna do it, they got to do it right, though, eh? So wait,
I think it'd
but
be,
by the way,
if
I
they
don't
can pull
know.
it off,
Okay, sorry.
if they can pull it off, because Spearhead is supposed to be like, in my mind, an hour or less.
Right.
And if they're basically just like, okay, these like wrestler meatheads can play this game live for you, they can figure it out. So it should be totally easy to like get into and
That's
for new
true.
people to play too. That's actually great marketing, and I'm all here for that. But
So Ludivicus says, first of all, he says it's late. Don't worry about it. We love you. They are both pro wrestlers. Are they famous? Like, I don't know anything about wrestling, Ludivicus, but
I
like
know
just
that
seeing
AEW
this
is a pretty big league, but
AEW. Oh, I see. It's not.
yeah.
It's not. Does WWF still exist or WWE?
It does.
Okay,
But
okay.
This guy, it says he's from the AEW.
I see. So this is another league. Got it. The only wrestler that I've ever heard of, and it has nothing to do with me in Japan. His name's Kenny Omega, and he's Canadian actually, and he wrestles out of Japan. And the only reason I know him is because he's heavily involved in fighting games. He's a Cody player, and I've been watching him and paying attention. They let him do the voice, I think, in Street Fighter V for Cody, because he was playing him in 4, and he put on this suit or whatever, because now Cody's the mayor of whatever Hager used to be. Remember Final Fight? You know that Metro City. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about like Final Fight storylines, but anyway, it was really awesome, and like he added so much awesome hype to that character, the reveal, everything surrounding that. So yeah, if they can do a good job of this might actually be kind of big for the community, theoretically. Like, I don't think anything that they do is going to harm the community. It only has the potential to be something like really positive, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I could see if they just kind of show up, like they just shamble up to the table.
That's true.
Don't
But-
really care. That could be kind of bad, but I feel like that's more of a we just sweep it under the rug kind of situation. It wouldn't
Exactly.
necessarily be negative. So
I agree. Ludivicus said too, both have a background in GW games. So like they're probably gonna wanna bring on the bring out the hype or whatever, and do a good job. So that makes me super excited for it, I guess.
isn't that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it goes square for Rock Talks about Street Fighter.
Yeah. That should be the center square at this point, I think, almost.
Yeah. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think James Workshop, like the actor that plays as him and like whatever goofy videos they've made, is
Yeah.
actually a wrestler also.
What? Really?
So Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I remember
What?
somebody
That's
saying that.
so crazy. He does such a fantastic job. I think it was Miguel just asked the other day, like, who's James Workshop? Someone brought him up, and then I just posted that one of the first videos where he's like, "Are you going to ask your grandmother for a boomdagger snazwagon or something like that?" No, you're not, because we're gonna do it for you or whatever. Like, oh man, that guy is so freaking awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. There was very clearly like a gradient in probably the past 10 years of like at the beginning of it, GW was like trying to put more effort into their marketing for their models and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one thing that sticks out for me, when you said Boondak is Snazwagon, that reminded me of the Speed Freaks box that
Yep.
was released a long time ago. Or not a long time ago, sorry, like 6 or 7 years ago now?
Yeah. Something
At
like
least.
that. Yeah, at least.
And I remember the trailer for that video was just like them taking videos of like these models that like looked like they were in action poses and they had like car sounds like
Yeah.
like that sort of stuff. And it was just like static models and you're like, cool guys, like good job. And then going to now where they have like actual actors presenting these things, they have like animated series. Like the 4th edition launch trailer was
Right.
like a full on production. And
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see like that progression of events happening where they went from like goofy videos where like they're playing like motor sounds over models being shown to like full on
Well,
huge productions.
and while I agree that like because the 4th edition trailer is the best trailer they've ever done to me, Ryan and I were arguing that about which one was better. He said he thinks the 9th edition, not 10th edition, the 9th edition trailer for 40K was better. But he was saying, well, 40K is my main game and Age of Sigmar is your main game. And I said, yeah, but like I think that the Age of Sigmar 3.0 trailer was the worst out of any of the the 9th, 10th, 3rd, and 4th trailers for all of them, you know? So I don't think I'm that biased, but also, a part of me misses some of the really goofy. Like, I think my single favorite video was a Contrast commercial where Duncan, what's his name? Duncan Rhodes, the painting guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like sitting and pretending to be Conan or whatever, and they're like, "What is best?" or whatever. Then, you know what I mean? And then the opens. I forget what they said. You know, like they did that whole Conan the Barbarian thing, you know.
Oh, I thought you meant Conan O'Brien.
No. Like, have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, it's so good. And they also did like a Matrix spoof where you know you can, you know, and like we didn't even know what Contrast was at the time, but they were so funny and really just I don't know, kind of cute in a way. I'm praying it ends with Cicero. I hope I'm saying that name right. Cicero power bombing Kip through the table when he loses. No, the center square is Rob theorizing something into Skaven. You're just talking anything about Skaven. That's fair. Yo, welcome to the stream, Justin. The Big Pig announcement was pretty good for a short clip. Right. Oh man, yeah, that was pretty good too. There was also like a really cool like anime like what's it called? Like 80s sort of style video. I think it was for Necromunda, but I don't remember it. They've had a bunch of and yeah, the James Workshop. I think like the Contrast videos were similar to the James Workshop, whereas the goofy sound effects from Speed Freaks, which I do remember as well, that's much more like it's more childish in a way. You know what I mean? Like there's not much production value there, but
Yeah. But I mean, like with the Contrast stuff you're talking about and the James Workshop stuff, like that's intentionally supposed to be
for sure,
comedic.
yeah.
And I think the Speed Freaks thing kind of maybe was too.
I think so.
I
It's
hope
self-aware,
but
yeah.
It just didn't quite get there for me, where it was just like, it was just teetering that line of like, kind of cringy, but also like funny.
Totally.
I guess. Like it didn't play into it enough, I think. But
I agree. Yeah. By the way, on Bahamut's note, the center square is Rob theorizing something about Skaven. Speaking of theorizing something about Skaven, Carson's the one who sent this image to me, and he's like, Rat Ogres and Storm Vermin pretty much confirmed for their starter box. Yeah.
Actually, I started with look at this beautiful man. Oh, I think there's a rat ogre.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you always point out the beautiful man first. And so that's just kind of like standard fare. I've learned to mostly tune it out at this point. Um, but yeah, so you were basically saying, rat ogres and storm vermin basically confirmed to be in the starter box at this point. And I was kind of saying, like we kind of thought so based off of the what do you call it? The preview movie thing that we got to see. But there is also a Packmaster behind the Rat Ogre as well. So maybe that's in there too.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because you've always
if you can just take your eyes off of his pecs just for 2 seconds.
The Rat Ogre's pecs?
The opposite side of the the Rat Ogre's pecs.
Oh.
It's the opposite side of the screen.
I don't know.
You can just it's just in the background there. I know it's gonna be hard, but please.
I love that they've got the man catcher like neck pincher thing. He's got it or whatever. Like those old so if you buy Rat Ogres today, they currently come with Rat Ogres, Packmasters, and giant rats. So I'm hoping that's kind of still the case. Like when you buy, I'm hoping they kind of go back to that format now, where it's like when like the what's it called, the new salamander, the what's it called again, of Quetzal or Chorza, what is it? Salamander, the old salamander for Seraphon.
Spawn of Chotek.
Spawn of Chotek. That's what it was. Oh my god, I couldn't come up.
Quetzal.
Yeah, I was just naming rather random other old ones and whatnot, but which sounded like Pokemon characters for sure. Yeah. Charmander or whatever. I don't know enough about Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the spot of crotcheting. Thank you, Ludwig. Sorry, because we're on a delay too. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh, right, yeah. So when you buy a spawn of Chotek in terms of points, and the models, it comes with the little dudes that go in the unit together. And I'm kind of hoping that that's the case for Rat Ogres, or like Squig Herd, where you've got the herders and whatnot. And then that way too, like they'll also come with like little guys that can give them orders. And then if you kill off the Packmasters, then they can't take orders anymore, So it's kind of a fun little sort of thing like that. Either way, I'm just super excited. If the Storm Vermin are half as cool as the Clan Rats, I'm going to lose my mind. But the thing I'm looking forward to seeing the most now is probably the Rat Ogres. Like the upper limit on Storm Vermin, you know what I mean, is whatever. So
yeah, it's like armored Clan Rats.
Yeah, exactly, with halberds and whatnot. Yeah. So.
Which is still super cool. But
I love
they
Storm.
Really do Rat Ogres justice 100%. Because you look at Storm Vermin now, and honestly, because Clan Rats and Storm Vermin are so small, they kind of get away with not having as much detail.
Yeah.
But for Rat Ogres, there's no getting around it. Like I think it's pretty sinful.
It's pretty big, and like I don't know if anyone else thought about this, and I might have pointed it out before, but I don't think so. But Kroxigor have 4 wounds. Trolls have 4. Oh no, Kroxigor have 5 now, but when they were designed, they had 4 wounds, right? Trolls have 4 wounds. How many wounds do the Ogroid, whatever they're called, the
Therodons?
Therodons, thank you.
They have 5.
They have 5 wounds. Okay. So, Rat Ogres have always had 6. So, at least in 3rd edition.
You think they're going to be chunky?
I'm hoping they're big boys. I'm hoping they're hefty. Yeah. I want to see.
That's a clippable moment right there. Just Rob grinning. I'm hoping they're big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially in the pants department, if you know what I'm saying. No, I mean
Yeah. The loincloth department.
the loincloth, the rags. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. For your sake. I saw the difference say, will they be in the release box or will they just be in the spearhead box?
They will be
And
in both.
you think they're gonna be in both?
Yes. Well, because like, so, I mean, I guess it's possible that they're not, because the Tyrannid release box, you don't get this big monster, and you don't get the Tyrannids. You don't get the psycho. Oh no, it's the Screamer Killer you don't get, and the new Command Brain Bug guy. So it's like I don't see anything else that's in there that's going to be like that. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, I should have brought it up again, and I can do that. But like Dominion had, because we're not Stormcast, so we have to compare them to Cruel Boys, right? Or Tyrannids or whatever for 40k. So you have Gut Rippas. That's going to be Storm Vermin because they're the elite. You're going to have, and they're probably going to be 10s, I think. Although I wouldn't mind
You're
being.
gonna go to bigger base sizes?
I hope not. I don't want to rebase.
I hope not for your sake also, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they were 28s though. I don't know. There's still this. I know. I hate it so much.
I honestly wish they just made them even chunkier and went to like 32s or something.
Yeah,
28 is like, it's awful because it's like not. Yeah. It's just so hard to mix them up with 25s.
It's true.
Or so easy. Sorry.
Storm Vermin 2 like are supposed to be a little bit bigger, but they're still not supposed to be man-sized, right? So like, I don't know. Like even just like, what do you call them? The Iden Deepkin Thralls and whatnot, they're on 32s, and they just feel like the bases are just slightly too big to me, even them. And they've got big weapons with like big, hefty, chunky, blades and whatnot. So I don't know. I really hope they stay on 25s, and that way I can at least proxy them for the first bit. But whatever. I mean, I've got like 60 of them. I've got 40 of them painted, and I've got like a box of 20 of them, which I'm probably going to sell because, like I want to just use the new models, frankly. You know what I mean? So, but I'll wait till I get them painted up. But yeah, I mean, the main thing is that hopefully they'll be in really cool dynamic poses. The old ones are very, old school, regimental, making them so they can line up and whatnot. So yeah, I really hope so. But that question was a lot deeper than I thought, because like we know that the spearheads are going to be out, like you're going to be able to take what's in the launch box and those are going to form two spearheads, right? So like they must be, but then when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, there were a couple of units that weren't in the Leviathan box, but they never said that about the Leviathan box. You know what I mean? Like they never said that what comes in the launch box is the spearhead equivalent in 40k. They never said that, but they said that here. So
yeah, the only inkling that I have so like presumably what they're going to do is you're going to have the launch box, which has the two spearheads, like you just said, and then when each book gets individually released, they're going to have like their own dedicated spearhead box that comes out.
Did they say that?
I'm assuming that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because they, again, as we've said in the past, like Vanguard boxes tend to come out just after an army book is announced, kind of thing, or not announced, but it comes out, and then like Vanguard boxes will come out alongside or just after it, kind of thing. I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing for Spearhead, where the book comes out and then the Spearhead box comes out too, as if it's like a start collecting your Vanguard box. And I think that maybe this is stupid of me to say, but like I think that because we see Rat Ogres and Storm Vermin charging into his beautiful abs, that those are going to be what's in the launch box, and then whatever's in like the Spearhead box is going to be something different. That's what I think. Because if you think about like Seraphon's army box versus Seraphon's like Vanguard box,
right?
There was no overlap Oh no, there was. There's Source Warriors, and I think that was it, probably.
Interesting. Okay,
Because what did
okay.
you have? You had like you
But
had Croxagore. You had was there? What? I'm just gonna look it up.
in
What
the
was in
launch
there?
box, it's Croxagore, it's Saurus Warriors, and it's the big Carnosaur
Dinosaur?
kit, yeah, or Troglodon, depending on what you want to do.
Right. Whereas in the army box for Seraphon, they had like Slan,
They had
Source
Source Warriors and the bird.
Raptidons.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that maybe they're not gonna try and like overlap them too much.
maybe it'll just be clan rats. That
Yeah.
would be really cool. The only problem though, too, is like if you look at the Seraphon launch box, right? We got the launch box, and then we got the main army with the army book, and then the spearhead came like 6 months later. It came way late. So, do we think that they're going to do a launch box, a spearhead box with the release of the army? Because they've been doing that for 40K pretty reliably, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
I think they have to. But then the problem, though, becomes what do they put in there? Like, if they come out with that, then whatever they put in that spearhead, how are they going to sell those models individually? Like, they're not going to. Like, no one's going to buy them. I mean, I guess unless you're shoring things up, right? Like you might buy one spearhead to get the big dino, but you're like, well, I want a unit of 6 Croxgore, so I'm buying an extra box of Croc. Maybe that works. Maybe that works. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine like in the new Spearhead boxes for Skaven and Stormcast, there's going to be something.
Oh, I hope
old.
so. It'll just save me some money. Like, that's all it is. That's all it is. Like, I bought all the individual kits so much for Seraphon that I'm just like, man, if I just
gonna
waited.
wait.
Yeah, just wait for the launch box, right? But I can't wait for Skaven. Are you out of your mind? Not waiting for Skaven.
Yeah.
I won't do
Speaking of
it.
playing or waiting for Skaven, Justin Sloan says, I don't play Skaven, dot, dot, dot,
Yet.
yet.
Yeah.
But Storm Vermin feel like they get outshrined in roles by a lot of other units.
They do. They're very hard to design for. They always overpoint them at the start. I always play them even at the start because I like them. I just think they're really cool. I've always liked the idea and like the tone of them, if that makes sense. You know, the plague monks are kind of ugly and dumb looking, but the storm vermin aren't much better, frankly, but I still just like them flavor wise. You know what I mean? So
I think that's probably to do with just that there's a lot of different types of Skaven, like basic foot soldiers. Because, like you said, you have like plague monks, you have clan rats, storm vermin,
giant
light
rats,
sensor bearers,
yeah,
gutter runners. Sorry,
night runners too. Yep, gutter runners.
runners.
Yeah,
there's all these like little variations on like what is effectively just a Skaven, and
That's
it's
true.
just going to naturally be like simply a better choice.
but you know what though is interesting is ever since we've had a book, plague monks were always good and storm vermin were always bad because plague monks were cheap because they don't have armor and they attack well. They have to be, like, that's part of their lore. So the hard part has always been because storm vermin need to attack well and then they also need to be more armored and survivable. I think it's just been them finding the right point cost. But even today, like even in the current meta, you never see them like in any kind of serious game. I always take them because I like them, but I think they're gonna. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think storm vermin are harder to like balance, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like KO and certain other factions, OBR. It's like they tend to either be really good or really bad. And storm vermin, they've always erred on the side of bad, I think. But
That's fair.
yeah, I agree though. Like what you say is obviously true though. Like it's like when you've got so many different kinds of regular troops and Skaven like all have to be kind of designed around that everything is chaff, then it just becomes like how do you create a good role for everything? And I think it's hard. I think if they design them more like Crypt Guard, it would be good, where it's like they're a little harder to kill. So if we have some kind of like respawning mechanic built into them or in some way, then it's just like, okay, well, there's some value here because they're a little harder to kill. So if you don't kill them all off, then they can come back. Does that make sense? You know?
Yeah.
I think that might be the
Yeah, I
way to
can
go.
see that. I could also see it being like they're the most heavily armored, so they get like a ward save or something like that.
That's a cool idea. Or even I mean, I don't think I'll ever give them a 3-up, you know?
No, probably not.
No.
But like, but yeah, I mean, who knows, right? Like, there's a lot of different things you can do.
Or
like it if they like skewed them a little more in one direction over the other. Like, I wouldn't necessarily mind if like maybe they hit like a pool noodle, but they are actually super tough. Like maybe they're a 4-up with a 5-up ward or something like that, or maybe they do actually go to 3-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just like this anvil that you can use, which normally isn't really a thing in Skaven.
No.
But it just gives you options, right?
Or like they could be 4-up and have -1 to hit or something, where it just makes them harder to kill, because they're quicker and whatever. Ogres, Skaven, and Skaven and Ogres. Hello there. Hello there. Yeah, I hope you come over to Skaven, Justin. I wish Gits had more infantry goblin types like Skaven have so many. I'd play a storm vermin of goblins. That would be rad. I totally agree. Hope maybe they'll get something in the new book, Just play Skaven? Yeah, that's the best thing to do. That's absolutely the right choice. Like, Ledivicus and I are kind of similar. Whereas just like our base love, where we start, and the thing we love the most, for me it's Skaven, obviously, and for him it's Goblins. You know what I mean? But we're both like, but why not both? That's always the right answer. Spend more money.
I can kind of see why they don't do that for every army, though. Like,
yep.
Because if you give every army every tool, it's kind of the same problem that 40k has, in my opinion, where it's just every army's been around so long that they have a bunch of different units that can effectively do anything. And then it's kind of just everything's the same. Where it's just like, I can play the exact same way as you, even though I'm Gits and you're Skaven, kind of thing. Like, that feels kind of weird. Whereas that is one thing that we keep bringing up on this show, which is every army like feels and looks way different from the other.
Yeah. That's one of the attractions of AoS and one of its main strengths in terms of aesthetics, over like virtually any game out there. You know what I mean? Like, even if like I was just playing Star Wars Legion with our friend Roman last weekend, and I love that game. It's super awesome, and I play clones, right? And my God, it's so hard to tell them apart. I know they're clones, and it's a little different. But then, like, if you look at the silhouette of clones versus stormtroopers, and obviously the one's based off of the other, but it's a similar problem. Whereas, like, if I don't play any regular goblins when I play Gits, I play squigs, I play trolls, I play spiders, and I have 0 painted regular goblins. And if I had to paint up regular goblins, I don't even know if I would have gotten into the army, But because I like their uniqueness, like, that's really cool to me. But I am very hypocritical because I want the same thing Ledivicus wants for Skaven. I want all the infantry. I want, like, I heard that we're not going to get gutter runners. We're just going to get night runners in the refresh, and I'm disappointed. Even though, like, there's no real functional difference between gutter runners. They're the skirmishers, slightly more elite than the night runners, but like. Yeah, they should probably be a little bit more creative instead of just refreshing gutter runners and night runners, right?
Yeah.
But
100%. 100%.
DP.
So we talked about this last time, but we think there's going to be like 6 units in the lockbox, probably.
Let me bring up the Dominion. This is twice where I felt like I should.
Yeah,
I should have had it.
Like, in Dominion, you had Slitas, Gut Rippers, Bolt Boys, the Banner Dude, the Gnash Tooth, like the boss on Gnash Tooth or whatever. And then you also had a Shaman and Potgrat. I think that's all 6.
So, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening because I was trying to type. But so you've got the analog is obvious between the Break a Boss on Great Gnashtooth and the Skaven Claw Lord on Giant Wolf Rat. We don't know that that's what he's going to be called or that that's what his mount's going to be called. I'm just guessing, educated guess. But so that's the obvious one. That's 1-to-1. It's very easy to compare the two, right? Then you've got 20 Hobgrots Slitas in here. That's obviously going to be the Clan Rats, right? The chaffiest of chaffs. So that's 1-to-1 there, pretty much. Then the Gut Rippers are on 32s, but we're hoping that the Storm Vermin stay 1-to-1. Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, there is only 10. Okay, fair enough. So there's 10. So we're thinking maybe 10 storm vermin. That's pretty much 1-to-1, right? Then you've got the bolt boys 1-to-1 with Jezzails. That's easy, right? And then the warp block engineer. Why don't we call him the swamp call a shaman, because he's the one, they do the same role. They make the shooty guys shoot better, right?
Yep.
So then all we have left from there is the Belcha banner, unless I'm missing something, and the other Break-a-Boss on foot, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Rat Ogres?
It's a lot of stuff for one box.
It is.
Unless they're making it like a really big box. And actually thinking of it, that's a lot of stuff for a spearhead, given what we know about what a spearhead is now.
Well,
because if you look at like the Stormcast spearhead that they showed us, it was like 4 units. And maybe they're just going to be using the reinforcement mechanic to say, like, this is a bigger box, it has more stuff, therefore you don't get to reinforce anything because you just start with more stuff on the table.
right.
That makes sense? But maybe they won't have the Rat Ogres in the starter box.
I was just worrying about that. Oh, man. But they showed them in all the preview images. Like, in the preview movie, they're everywhere.
Justin Sloan says Break-a-Boss didn't come in Dominion.
It did. This is the contents of Dominion. Unless I'm calling him the wrong thing.
Is it the thing in the bottom left that you're talking about?
Yeah, the thing on the bottom left, I thought was a Break-a-Boss. And you can build him with like 2 different weapons, but
let's see.
It came with 2 foot heroes, 2 other foot heroes. Oh, he's a Killaboss. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got the names mixed up. I haven't been playing Cruel Boys lately, Justin. My mistake. Sorry about that. But like, we're just using him to like kind of. And it's is it Killaboss on Great Nashtooth, or is it Break-a-Boss? I think it's Killaboss. Right. Okay. Yeah. This is where I get confused. Everything I think should be in the release box. We'll probably have to split between the release and the spearhead. That would be disappointing, but you're probably not wrong. I mean, there's no way that the Claw Lord on Giant Wolf Rat doesn't come in there, though, right?
Because it has to be like a centerpiece hero of some kind.
There's got to be something cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All check.
But I mean, what's confusing me is that we saw the sprue for that like Skaven Gatling gun thing, like the tripod.
Yeah.
And
that's got to be in there too.
So early, I feel like that had to have been in the launch box. Right?
It is. I can guarantee it. Didn't we have rumors about what's in the launch box like ages ago?
I think so.
Okay.
There's 3 different versions of the Killaboss lol because of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Break-a-Boss, Killaboss. What was the other one? Killaboss, Break-a-Boss. I've forgotten. Snatch-a-Boss, right? Wait, so we are on... I don't know. There's... Oh, shoot. I never even saw this. Like 2 months ago, there was like some random like... Oh, we did. Never mind. We did see that. But, man, people talked about like how there were... like all the different things that were getting replaced, but I don't see them here, unfortunately. Yeah, because most of these rumors are like newer, and we saw that like ages and ages ago. Yeah, this is just like all rule stuff. I don't. Killaboss on foot, Killaboss on Nashtooth, and Vulcha, right? Oh, that's right. He's a Killaboss too. And the Break-a-Boss is the one on the Troll. And the Snatch-a-Boss is the one on the Crocodile. The Swamp Crocodile. Right. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm like now I'm getting a little bit more nervous about it because we were also told that there's going to be terrain in here, but they could, like, you know, it could be just whatever. It could be cardboard or mat style or like, you know what I mean, like the stuff you break out of. Yeah.
I have a feeling that's going to be the case. I also feel like is it going to be the same size, or maybe they're going for something like massive? The box is just going to be huge.
That's what I'm hoping for. Like I hope it's at least Leviathan sized. You know, and because that's a great box in terms of the box. I love what Ludivicus says. In the end, I guess it doesn't really matter. It just comes down to how many times I have to swipe my card. Yeah, that's true. And it's not even like metaphorically true. It's very true in the sense that because the launch box will come out first, so we swipe our card once then, and then we swipe our card when all the rest of the crap comes out. I have an imager link for the leak. I think you're talking about if I'm allowed. Yeah, post it. Yeah, it was like a bunch of, you know, of like units that were supposed to be included and whatnot. I know we're living in the future right now, and there's a delay on the chat. So, but yeah, obviously I won't bring it up. Hopefully, I won't bring it up.
There were 8 Tyranids units in the Leviathan box, which is like 2 more than what the game was.
Yeah, and 2 of those units are not in the spearhead.
Yeah, but 2 more does also account for both rat ogres and the tripod thing.
Exactly.
So maybe it is just going to be a big old box.
I live on hopium, especially when it comes to Skaven. I've been like going down this rat hole maybe for the last really long time. Yeah, exactly, Justin. Totally. If you can post it, that would be great. And maybe Carson, can you open it just so I don't bring up some,
sure.
You know, like, yeah. I'm from the FGC, baby. I know how this works. Okay, I can't tell you how many times people stream snipe people, and then during the match they just started playing like porn as like just like the sound effects from it. There was this one Sagat player, and honestly, it made me laugh, but like it was not good for the streamer. You know, yeah. Actually, speaking of which, so funny thing, like. I won't make this long, but I was like, I do like Street Fighter and whatnot. And so I was playing, I was in Diamond 5, which is the one rank below Masters. And I got my first Master rank match. And I looked down, and not only are they a Master, but it says they have the little legend thing next to them, which means they're like one of the top like 200 players in the world. And I notice it's Snake Eyes, who's like probably the second most famous Street Fighter player ever. He's like the first guy sponsored by Red Bull. And I'm like, oh God, I'm definitely being streamed to thousands of people right now. So I got my ass kicked, obviously, right? But the guy is super famous. There's like documentaries and stuff about him. And anyway, and then I rematched him, but he didn't rematch me. And I was thankful because he was just going to take my points. But anyway, it was kind of fun. I posted the link, but I don't know if it went through. It doesn't seem to.
I responded in the chat.
Thank you. Yes, I see that. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, if you put it in the Discord, I can grab it and send it to Rob.
It must have got auto moderated. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even see it on our end.
We just
it's
yeah,
a YouTube thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a YouTube thing. Discord link is in the. Could you type that? It's in the description.
Yeah.
The real question, Rob.
Can I put a link in the chat? Did you see that? If I just put that link there.
Oh, I don't see it.
Okay, so it's just filtering out all links.
Apparently, I don't think I did that. The real question, Rob, is: are you doing 1 release box or 2? I'm doing 2. I've already ordered them, and yeah, I'm doing 2. There was never a question. I might do 3. It'll depend on. It will depend on what's in the box and you know how many of my. You know how many people want to split. You know, we also kind of like we need a set of core rules and stuff for the channel, and yeah, it'll depend on a few different things. But 2 for now, Ludivicus. 2 for now. I might end up pulling like it really depends on a lot of things too, because like if you buy the Dominion box, and I do mean Dominion box, and first of all, I'll keep it up just to explain this. If you buy Dominion, the Hobgrot Slittas are the full kit, but the Gut Rippers aren't, and they don't have the command models. Bolt Boys, same thing, right? So like it'll kind of depend on like how good a quality a thing we're getting. You posted in the content feed channel. Okay.
Yep, I sent it to you all.
Oh, cool. It checks out.
Yeah, it's like
I knew it
word
would.
pictures, and then it's finally the reveal after that. So I figured you can just scroll really fast, and it'll be good.
Okay, here we go. Boop. Okay. What is moving away? Gutter runners, right? So that's what I was talking about. This is the exact thing I was looking for, by the way. So thank you, Justin. I obviously believed in you, but you know, anyway, send him the bill for his half. So gutter runners moving away. We heard, right? Giant rats moving away. That I'm a little surprised about and a little bit sad. Rat swarms going away. I'm not surprised, and I don't care. I actually forgot that they still existed in AoS 3. I think they should have got rid of them a long time ago, to be honest. But I think mostly they were worried about people complaining, like they are about other armies. The skirmisher wrecking balls that they're talking about are the plague sensor bearers. That I'm surprised about. Like, I'm not a plague guy, obviously, but that surprised me because they've been around since 3rd edition, 4th edition, since they even first got released in Warhammer Fantasy Battles. They were a thing, right? So I'm hoping that they're just getting reimagined or something. But so wait, one second. What is moving away? But we know that we're getting clan rats, huh?
There's a. It's not separated, but under the wrecking ball it says new kits for existing units, and then.
Oh, there you go. There we go. Okay, cool. Thank you. I was just like, I went past it. Anyway, so new kits for existing units. Grey Seer, that makes sense. Even though like the one we currently have is pretty dope. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's almost perfect. Arch Warlock, obviously that one's metal still, so that you need that one. Master Corruptor, I think they mean a plague priest, like something that will replace the current. And we have the one that comes on the plague furnace, but yeah, obviously you need one on foot. Clan Rats, Storm Vermin, Jezzail, Globadiers, thank God. I love Globadiers. They've also existed since 4th edition, and they're one of my favorite units. Rat Ogres. And then new units, totally brand new. Oops. Oh, there we go. That looks better. A new Vermin Lord, Scryer related. That makes sense because, like it's the only sort of like subsection that we never got. And then a new Lord. So that's interesting. I don't know what they mean by that. I'm assuming they mean like a new Claw Lord, but it doesn't say he's on like a wolf rat or anything like that. So that's a little curious. And then new Technomage with new loadout. I don't know what that's supposed to... Oh, they mean the engineer. Oh, and he's carrying the rifle. So that seems real. And then new artillery piece, the one that got leaked. New Wolf Rats makes total sense, especially now that we've seen the Claw Lord on Giant Wolf Rat. And a new Behemoth model. So this is looking like everyone said, very reliable, right? What do you think?
This is a ton of stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what the Behemoth model is going to be.
I mean, you need a new centerpiece. Like, I mean, I guess the new Vermin Lord is a centerpiece as well, but what would it be?
I can see that. It's cool that Skaven are getting like actual cavalry, if this is true.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
Wolf Rats used to be Forge World.
Sorry?
Wolf Rats used to be Forge World only. That's the only way you could buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes it... I feel like every faction has some representation of, like, this is cavalry.
Right.
Almost every faction I can think of has something like that.
Yeah.
Except maybe Fire Slayers. They have Magma Drops, but that doesn't really count, in my opinion. Like, I'm talking, like, That's not cavalry. That's like a behemoth, right?
Yeah, but don't forget, wolf rats aren't cavalry because there's no one riding them.
Oh, are they not? Okay.
No, not traditionally. Wolf rats are like dire wolves.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
we still might not get it. I wonder what.
I guess that might kind of conflict with like the Gits, like Wolf Riders or whatever. Or wait,
Yeah, I mean it's the
Snarlfang?
equivalent, you know. Yo, Keith, thanks for joining us. Like Big Mech Rat sign up. Oh, sign me up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it'll basically be like Vashtor, but a Vermin Lord. New Vermin Lord could be the big mech teased in Dawnbringers, and the new Technomage could be the model that leaked that was carrying a big Skaven cannon.
Hold on a minute. That reveal that we just saw,
Yeah.
which is like a
What?
claw foot robot thing.
Yeah,
Maybe it's like a robot scryer Vermin Lord or something.
that's true. Actually, so I was gonna make that comment, but then everyone's just like, "Well, it's obviously 40K." So I felt like,
It just looks so 40K. There's like that weird panel on the side of it.
and the like the lock nut thing on the side of the ankle too. But the spikes
Yeah.
on the little curved bits, like they do that kind of thing. Honestly, there's no way to tell just because of how they use their CAD files. Also, there's a grate. No, but sometimes Skaven have grates and stuff, but their grates don't tend to be flat. They tend to be like kind of more interlaced and weird. Honestly, like obviously, I don't think anyone would have trouble believing that my first thought was maybe it's something Skaven, but even though I did think that, obviously, I think it's probably a 40K thing.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But that did bring up something interesting as soon as Justin talked about the Mac Rat. Basically,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
But what do you mean the model that leaked that was carrying a big Skaven cannon? Are you talking about like the go-kart with the Gatling gun? Because I'm not sure what you mean by the leaked. Could be the big mech tease in Dawnbringers, and the new Technomage could be the model that leaked that was carrying a big Skaven cannon. That's interesting. I'm not sure what you mean. There's supposed to be a Skaven dreadnought thing that could heft a rattling gun in one hand. God dang.
I love the way you spelled supposed because
Yeah.
I immediately understood what you meant.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It made me think of Omarion, the song "Supposed to Be" with Janae Aiko.
I don't know any of these names.
Oh, really?
They're so old, bro.
What do you mean? It's not an old song. It's Chris Brown. A lot of N words in there, so I can't really sing it out. But I don't know about how. I don't remember. Anyway, it has a very famous line like, "But he got to eat the booty like groceries." Some people know it just from that. It's a good song. Omarion. It's got Chris Brown in it too. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite. I can't even get it out. I was gonna say everyone's favorite wife beater. Yeah. Beautiful voice. Anyway, this conversation's gotten away from me. That's the problem when I'm talking about Skaven. And the other problem too, when we do the live show, I'm gonna be like, I'm probably gonna be having a drink. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, probably. I sent it to you on Facebook again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do remember this now.
Oh, this! Right. So, yeah, that's okay. I was thinking of something bigger, like when you said, I don't know, it was just the way I read it. It's entirely my mistake. In less than 2 days, I can't wait. Ooh. The groceries. Yeah, who doesn't, right? This is the guy that Justin was talking about. So this is my thought on this guy was he's going to be like an optional thing you can attach to clan rat units, like we had it in the old weapons teams. What's interesting though too is that in that other thing we don't have any We don't have any weapons teams listed here. So what do we have? So moving away, and then coming again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 is actually like perfectly average for new kits when you get like a refresh. So another point in this guy's favor, hey? Like
a huge refresh, I guess.
No, I mean like an edition refresh when we
I see.
I think we got I can pull it up, but I think we got like 14, I want to say, for Necrons in 9th edition. And I think it was 14 for Nighthaunt in AoS 2. What was that? Sorry.
I just said Indominus.
Indominus.
Yeah, because Necrons
That's
got
it, sorry.
I know they got the new Warriors, they got the Reanimators, they got the new Scarabs, they've got the Scorpek Lord, they got the Scorpek...
You're going way ahead of me. Well, let me just find... just give me 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
I mean, like, you know the armies, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone bow down to your encyclopedic knowledge. But I need you to, like, look at this with me and tell me what new units we got. And so we won't double count the things like the tripod walker guy because he has a separate kit. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not. The Reanimator and the...
Oh, well, wait, but when you buy the full kit of the other one, aren't you able to build both?
No, they're way different sizes.
They're just totally different units. Okay, my mistake.
From what I remember anyway.
Okay, well,
like called again, Necron.
Okay, like the point stands though, right? Like there's bolt boys inside the starter kit. We won't count them as two new like things, right? If as long as they have totally separate kits, even if there's a main kit that builds two different ways. Does that make sense? Yeah, right. Like I know there's an example of this. No, wait. Oh, no, there's none of that. Actually, I can't think of a good example. But the point still stands. Obviously, if they have a multi-build kit versus a regular kit. Oh, Annihilators from Dominion. Annihilators were just the shield and hammer guys. But if you bought the full kit, they were grand hammers or regular shields. You could build them either way. Doomstalker is much larger too. Okay, yeah, sorry, I don't know my Necrons, boys and girls. I only know my Nids in 40k. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know my Space Marines, my Space Buddies. Yeah. Okay, fine. So because you can't buy the tripod, the Reanimator, I'm learning. The Reanimator. So Reanimator is one unit. Okay, right?
Yeah.
We got new warriors. This is in the start collect or the spearhead version, right? New warriors. We got what are the blade guys that are in there?
Scorpek.
Okay.
Scorpek destroyers or something.
Sure. And then we got what's the hero that's in there? Overlord. Okay, that's 4.
Yep.
And then the scarabs or whatever they're called.
Yep.
So that's 5, right? Okay. Now going down, Imhotep, is he new? Or sorry,
no.
Let's scroll. You have the page loaded up.
Uno momento.
Okay.
Warhammer Community not Warhammer Community. Warhammer.com.
And Oracan. What about Oracan the Diviner? Did he come out in 9th edition for the refresh?
Oracan the Diviner. Just let me get to it.
Okay.
Quick.
Hopefully it's in the same order.
40k.
We're at 5 so far.
God, I hate this website. Okay,
it's so bad.
Okay, sorry.
It has grown on me though.
Would you go to the combat patrol in which there are 1, 2, 3,
5.
4,
right?
5?
Yeah.
Imhotep is not new. Oracan is not new.
Okay.
Royal Warden is new. So
is new in the refresh, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Not counting.
Obviously not a kill team. Flayed ones are new, right?
Those are new flayed ones, I think.
And I think they came out at the time.
Yeah.
So 7. Chronomancer.
Yep. Chronomancer is new.
New, so 8.
The Royal Court includes 3 new kits in there, which is the Technomancer, the Scorpec Lord, and the Crypto Thralls.
So we're at are we at 10 or 11 there?
Uh,
I think we're at 11.
11. Yeah.
Right. Then Psychomancer.
Actually, sorry, that Royal Court also includes the Reanimator. Did you count that?
We already counted that from the start collecting thingy.
Well, it's not in the start collecting. That's the Doomstalker in the start collecting.
Oh, okay, then no. So that's 12.
Yeah, 12. The Psychomancer's new. Convergence of Dominion is not new. The Void Dragon is new. Ophidian Destroyers are new.
That's 15.
Monolith is new.
Did that come out at the same time for the refresh?
So.
16?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. Hexmark Destroyer is new. Zorex the Silent King is new.
We're at 17 or 18.
The Locust Heavy Destroyer is new. And...
Oh, I see.
That might be it.
The Silent King was new. Did you say that?
Yep.
Okay. And you said the Locust Heavy Destroyer. Okay.
I think maybe Illuminor Zeros is new.
Jeez, that's 17 or 18 kits. Man, when they do it for 40K, maybe it's...
Overlord with Translocation Shred. Oh, okay. That's like completely new though. That's not part of the refresh.
Now I'll look at... I'll check out the Tyranids. Because this is where it's going to start getting more interesting. Because we're also... This is, more analogous to what we're doing right now, which is we're getting it's the newest edition versus the newest edition, right? And then we'll go over to Dominion. Okay, or actually we'll go Night Hunt and then Dominion, and then we can kind of go in order. So now we've got Tyranids. So Barb Gaunts are new. We got the Von Ryans 2, and then we already did the Bob Gaunts, the Psychophage 3, new Termagants 4, and then the new winged guy 5. The hero guy, the name escapes me and I don't really care. So that's 5. Parasite was not new in this edition. It was just before this edition. Okay, that's 5 so far. I'm still looking for a new kit. None of these are new. Still not new. I have to go to show me more. Jeez. Okay, so then the new Brain Bug and the new Screamer Killer. We're at 7, right? The Tyranid Prime, that was the word that escaped me. The Psychophage was in there. Oh, Neurogaunts. I forgot that Neurogaunts were there. 8. Von Ryan's I already said. New Hormagaunts, 9. And then new Neurolictor, 10. New Lictor, 11. New Geneskiller's Refresh, 12. Death Leaper, 13. Pyrovore 14. I already said Termagants. Norn Assimilator 15. Biovore 16, which is one kit with the Pyrovore. And the Norn Emissary is the same kit as the Assimilator, so I'm not counting that. 16. Damn. That's really good. That's really good. Meat indeed. The Biovore, it was. I did count that. Because it's one kit. Apparently Illuminator. Yeah, so, because that 18 sounds like a lot. So it might actually be like 16. We might have counted something twice. Not as important. Like, this is going to get more relevant as we go along. Because now we're going to move over to Age of Sigmar. And so I'll go next to Night Haunt, right? Age of Sigmar, Death, Night Honk, as Dale likes to call them. Okay. So, we have the Knight of Shrouds is not new, but his Chainrest Horde is new. Grimghast Reapers new, and anything else? Oh, then the Spirit what do you call it? Spirit Hosts are not new, so that's everything in there. Scriptor Mortis came out in between. Allrock was for the most recent release. The Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed was new. It was in the launch box. So was the Spirit Torment, I think he's called, and the Guardian of Souls. So that's 5 so far. Cruel Gas Cruciator came out in between. I think he was for the... Wait, was he? Yeah, no, he came out... that's right. He came out in between 2nd and 3rd. Craven Throne Guard also were a 3rd thing. Blade Guys are new. That's 16. I said the Chainrest Horde already. The Executioner was new. There was 2 different kits for him. Black Coach was new. Dreadblade Hero's new. Kurdos new. That's 10. Reikenor 11. I already said the Grimghast. Obviously, Lady Ollander came out at the same time. That's 12. Endless Spells. Endless Spells, I think, were new, but I'm not going to count them because they're not. There's not like a direct, analogous representation within what we're looking at. The Glavewraith Stalkers were new. That's 13. Mirmore, brand new, 14. Cairnhaith, no. Crawlock. So there was also, apart from the Spirit Torments, there's the there is a new unit. So 15, and then Dreadsice 16. That's 16. That's like the same thing. 13 is the new amount. I hope not. This is the one time that they should not follow that rule. So that's 16 units for Nighthaunt. Okay. Whoops. Come on. Why isn't it? Oh, I did that weird thing. Okay. So now we're getting to the most relevant. So it's been 16 for that, 16 for Tyranids, and it was like maybe somewhere between 16 and 18 for Necrons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is where things gonna get. This is where it matters because we're getting more and more relevant. Auric War Clans. I can't separate, unfortunately, by just Cruel Boys. So, or can I? No, I cannot.
Everything in the Vanguard is new, though. You basically just count all of the Cruel Boys, and then that's it.
Yeah, no, exactly, for sure. But I have to look through these to start collecting things because that's, where we'll find all the different kits, I guess. So we got Gut Rippas, Bolt Boys, the Beast Skewer Killbow, Killaboss on Great Nashtooth, Killaboss on foot, Belcha Banner for six so far. Then we've got the Snatchaboss for 7, Killaboss on Corpse Ripper Vulture, which is the same as Gobsprak for 8. Gut Rip, as I said, Bolt Boys, I said. We got Dobby for 9. Break a Boss for 10. I already said the Killbow. I'm getting worried. Oh. That's it?
Now the question is, do you count the Iron Jaws releases also?
No, because they didn't come out at the same time.
That's true.
I think I also missed the Hobgrot Slittas. I don't think I said them. I think I skipped past them. But that's only 11.
You could also make the argument that 3rd edition was home to like a lot of faction refreshes, especially near the end, because we had Slaves of Darkness, Seraphon, Cities of Sigmar, Flesh Eater Courts. That was it, actually, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess you could argue Iron Jaws, too. They had a pretty decent refresh.
Yeah. Welcome, Asri. Yeah. So those were new kits that we got in 3rd. Oh, I see. Yeah. You're just getting caught up. But we didn't get them in Dominion, like at the same time as the book came out or whatever. So like, that's pretty disappointing. Actually, I guess let's look at the Stormcast refresh just for 3rd edition. That's a little bit scary to me. I mean, I think like we got what was it? No, it was 16 for Nighthaunt. So I think I should feel I think we're okay because Skaven like are more important, for lack of a better thing, than Cruel Boys, because Cruel Boys were just kind of like, we need more variety in our orcs, right? It was kind of a cop out. And Dominion is the worst, like, what is the worst box they've ever made? What do you think? The worst launch box?
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty
bad when you walk into like any given hobby shop and you see
and you
like,
still
4 copies
see yeah
at the bottom.
And like, even if they were overmade, okay, cool. Like, I'm sure that's true, because they were just coming off of the other thing. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that went wrong with that box. But okay, we got, I don't know any of these people's names. So we've got Sword Guys, we've got Indrasta, Annihilators, Chariot, and then Banner Boy, 5. We got Knights Draconis, 6. We got Karazai, 7, which is the same kit as Krondys, so I'm not counting it. Same with the Annihilators with Grand Hammers. Praetors are 8. Vindicators, did I already say? Yeah, I said Spear Guys. Oh no, those are I said Sword Guys. So that's 9. Vanquishers are Sword Guys. Bastion was 10. I didn't even remember that Vigilers existed until this exact moment. Okay, so there was 11 is Bow Guys, which are apparently called Vigilers. Are they really bad? Like, what's the deal with Vigilers? We actually tried to get a Dominion box as a door prize for our recent GT and couldn't. What? Oh man, you should have like talked to us, dude. You found one in. Okay, you got me. I was just like, this is a story I could actually believe. Yeah, I mean they're like a joke locally. Okay, anyway.
So much of a joke that one of our clubmates had his like bachelor party.
Yeah.
Where all of us went to it and we all like pitched in to get him some stuff, but we hid the actual gift inside of an empty Dominion box.
I hid them inside an empty Dominion box. It was one of my like 2 that I had, and Alex is known for buying Dominion boxes too. Like it's kind of his thing. But yeah, I mean I've seen them on sale for $50. $50 Canadian. Yeah, that's basically free in most other currencies. Anyway, we're at 11. Before I lose the plot here again, Knight Relictor is new, I think. So 12. Oh, the Knight Judicator, that's definitely new. 13. Okay, I'm feeling a little better now. Gardas was not new. None of these Bozers were new. Griffhounds I don't think are new. Man, they have way too many units. That's what I'm really getting out of this right now. Way too many. Black Talons were not new at the time. Neither were the Truth Seekers. Spells weren't new at the time. Yeah, okay. So 13. Man, what a dud that launch box was. That's what I learned this day. Using the new GW conversion rate? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's only 750 Australian dollars, even though our currencies are basically the same. There's like usually like 2% difference between Canadian and Australian dollars. But for some reason, that's what happened.
Canadian dollar is actually 10% higher than the Australian dollar right now.
Really? Well,
one Canadian dollar is $1.10 and $1.02.
I'm going to Mexico. Not Australia, though. I don't know. The reason I said that was because I got something from Australia a little while ago, and then also anyway, it doesn't matter. SEs have so many units, you could cut like a third of them and barely raise a stink. Well, I mean they they just did that, Justin. I don't know if you saw that, and it actually raised a pretty big stink. It shouldn't. You're not wrong about what should happen, but yeah. I'm glad that Rob doesn't use that currency calculator. It means my saga dice we price nicely priced. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Dang it. Sorry, Justin. Your sarcasm and funny tone did not come across in the mere letters that were represented on my screen. Dominion was Indrasta. See, that makes sense. Okay, I'm glad we have Asri here to actually know something about Stormcast. Kenrick is our Stormcast boy, but he also got into Age of Sigmar like late, so he wasn't there for the refresh anyway. But like Alex would obviously know because he has like 50 boxes of Dominion, or Eric, or obviously Rob Tons would know. But we have a bunch of friends that know, but we don't.
That's like the start of my really being into AoS career, I guess. Yeah. I remember when I left Gasket Games, the company that I worked at that worked on Stormground, there was like, I think we had 2 Dominion boxes just sitting on the shelf.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. We had a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of the start collectings and stuff like that. But it was just so funny seeing like so many copies in the hobby shops, and then I go to work and there's just more copies of Dominion.
Yeah. Giving them away at a local supermarket. Thanks for shopping here.
Exactly.
And Night Judicator is 15. Okay. Wow, that's interesting that we got... I mean, it's possible we missed one or two from the Cruel Boys thing, too. 11 feels really low. But also, it's... I mean, of all the boxes, it's very possible that one got phoned in the hardest. It seems like it did, actually. Like, Vigilers, like... I feel like Vigilers and what do you call it? I think Vigilers should have just been called like Judicators. No, not Judicators. What's the regular guys? Liberators. Liberators with spears. You know what I mean? They should have just had like a slightly different thing. But I don't know. Whatever. It was what it was. But like, so going back to this Skaven leaked thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, that is par for the course, man. Other than Necrons. I wouldn't be surprised, if there's, like, some stuff that this person didn't see, too. Because, like, Necrons feel very close to Skaven. Like, they seem like the most analogous sort of comparison, where they're an existing army that's existed for a long time and has a really deep bench. You know, Tyranids are actually the other one, though. Huh. And Tyranids, they got 14? Is that what we counted? I think so, right?
16.
For Tyranids?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 16 for Tyranids and 16 for...
and then it was 14... No, I think it was 14 for Nighthaunt. Can anyone tell us what we just said?
You want to recap just this entire tangent we went down?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 16, but maybe I'm wrong.
16 for Nighthaunt? Yeah. I want that to be the case. I don't think it is. It would be sweet, Justin, but it's more important to just get more things. We've waited so long. Okay. Okay, so rewind back to 2 years ago or something. It was Year of the Rat. Okay. And a bunch of us were like, Year of the Rat, we're getting Skaven this year. GW doesn't think like that in terms of these kinds of business decisions. Even though sometimes we wish they would. Man, are you on a roller coaster right now? Like a really slow roller coaster? Oh, man. Yeah, apparently. I don't know how you're doing that, but I'm loving it. I kind of want the mystery to stay, you know? So I'm expecting the 4th edition launch box to have SCE. Oh, I see. SCE for SCE. Mounted Hero, Wizard Hero, Melee Hero, Paladins, new Prosecutors, new Liberators. That's 6, right?
Meat coaster.
Yay. He's on the meat coaster, ladies and gentlemen. How many units were we expecting? Okay, where's Dominion? You're so distracting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the previous one. And then 1. Just trying to ignore you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hard to even count these guys. 6, maybe 7. I can't. I don't even know. Oh no, maybe I think 6. I think 6. Okay, and then we got over here. We got 1, 2. Oh yeah, 2 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the other side. 6 and 7. What is going on? I don't know.
This is what happens when Rob talks about Skaven for too long.
There's no such thing as too long when talking about Skaven. No such thing. Nothing is more Warhammer than Skaven. Justin said it, and I agree. Nothing could be more true. The troops have all been spoiled already. It's just the heroes we don't know. Well, we don't know if like what's coming in the box though, which is kind of like what I'm concerned about. I really hope that. So there's kind of you could kind of see a plus and a downside to both things that happen. Where like if we get launch box rat ogres, that they become. That they're like an easy build kit, and then we have a separate kit, you know. But there's also a world that I could see where we get the launch box Skaven rat ogres, and that's all that we get. They're always easy build, and we don't get the variety. And you need variety with your rat ogres. Like you just need them, right? Like look at the troll kit. You can build that thing 18 different ways, not including heads. You can have 18 different combinations of body and arms, not including the heads. The squigs, all of the heads, all 10 of the heads are interchangeable with all 10 of the bodies. Like the amount of variety you can get on some of these kits is just astounding, and I really hope that they think long term when it comes to like the rat ogres and stuff. Imagine if the launch box plastic rat ogres were the Yeah. Those things are just so sad. Like 6 wounds and they're like half the size of like a troll. They're cool sculpts, but man, they were doing the opposite of thinking long term when a lot of those sprues were mixed with high elf sprues. Okay. I digest. I don't know, guys. I mean, waffling is something I'm really good at when it comes to these launch box stuff, but I'm just like, it's starting to break my brain. I kind of made my peace with it, but you guys drove me back into a frenzy. A death frenzy, maybe.
Less than 2 days away now. So
It is. It is less than 2 days away. It is 1 day and 20 hours away.
I like that Azri also spells the rat ogres as like OGOR, whereas are they ogres? Like
they are in. I think they are in Age of Sigmar, but they're not in fantasy. Yeah, I think they're not in fantasy. I think they spell them like traditional ogres, because they were like when they went over to Age of Sigmar, like all orcs and everything became copyrightable. It's the dumbest thing. I've lost. The traditional way of spelling orc, which sounds like a funny thing to say, is ORC, right? Okay, cool. I honestly couldn't remember. Like I've read Lord of the Rings so many times, but I'm like, what were they? How were they spelled?
Okay, so locking in the prediction for the launch box.
Oh God,
it's going to be 20 clan rats, 10 storm vermin
for sure.
The Lord on the wolf rat or whatever.
Yep.
Giselles.
Yep.
Warlock engineer.
Warlock engineer. Yep.
And
it's 5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
And we think there's going to be 6 or 7 at least.
Yeah, I think
there's
going to be.
If it's actually, I'm going to say it's going to be a Tyranids.
Tyranid style. Oh please.
Release. So I think it's going to be those. I think it's going to be the rat ogres, then the tripod Gatling gun, and what was the last thing?
Packmaster. Who may or may not be like a part of the rat ogres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. That like it's so much more hype though. Like it's so much better. Like how much did Leviathan cost? Can anyone tell me in Canadian dollars? Cuz like if it was 240 and they don't do something similar for 4th edition, like it's like, come on. Yeah, the Vermin Lord. Yeah, the Vermin Lord. Apparently, we're getting a new Vermin Lord according to this leak, Azri. We're getting a new Vermin Lord, which is here, and then a new Behemoth as well of some kind.
So there is a Leviathan box at Magic Stronghold right now.
Okay.
For $300 Canadian.
So its MSRP is $300.
Yeah, and then
honestly,
the store might give.
I hope that's what it is. I would be perfectly happy if the MSRP on it was $300 or less, and they just give us more. You know?
I have a feeling it's going to be 340 Canadian. And it's
Three
going to be a big, big box.
with terrain,
I think the terrain is going to be cardboard cutouts,
maybe.
to be honest. But I think that
I'm
because
okay.
it's going to have the GHB in it.
Yeah. Is the
and
GHB separate? I thought it was part of the core rules or something.
I'm pretty sure you're just going to be getting a GHB in there, which contains the core rules. Like, because when you look at the GHB now, it has the core rules in there. So
Right. And then, but what's the core rule book going to look like? Or there is no core rule book?
I don't think there is going to be one.
What? No,
Yeah,
there
I
has
think
to
the
be.
core-
No, there has to be. There will be. There will be. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. There has to be lore in there. They have to have like they're very careful about including some kind of entry point for lore. And that's smart. I think that's a good thing to do. But hopefully it's thinner. You know what I mean? Like hopefully it's like it's a little more compact. Because the other ones were like textbooks. They said there's terrain, but we don't know what the terrain means. That's kind of what we're debating about right now, Justin. I'm guessing 180 quid, 250. That's pounds for people that don't know. 250 USD, and then 300 Canadian. I like the way what you're saying right now.
It seems like a lot of stuff for 300 Canadian. That's why I think it's going to be
Dude,
more.
the Leviathan box is freaking huge, though. There's like 2 or 3 monsters in there. There's the Psychophage, and there's the big brain bug dude. There's the Screamer killer Carnifex, and then there's also like the winged hero guy who's pretty big. You know? I've actually got a Leviathan box. I'm gonna hold on to it though, because I really do like Tyranids. I love my Tyranids. And so even though I'm not playing 40k right now, I'm gonna play it at some point in the future, and I'm gonna want to play Tyranids. So yeah. Leviathan was 420 Australian. God dang. That's gonna send me into a friggin' spiral. It's going to have a 22 by 30 double-sided board. That's true. That's true. But we were told we were going to get some kind of terrain. If I recall, the article said there was a core book and the GHB. So you're saying that according to your memory that it was like they separated. That's interesting. I thought I probably just read it wrong, but I thought that they were kind of insinuating that it was going to be a part of the core rules. So I feel like there has to be one, or they set a weird precedent to refer to rules online. Yes, that's true. That's true. They need to loss leader the box, like they did for 40k 9th Indominus. Underpriced to get it to move and reinvigorate the game. You make a great point. That's true. Did you know that they sold the PlayStation 3 at a loss? Sony was losing when it first came out. Obviously not eventually. Things changed.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, that's why there were a bunch of server farms that were just a bunch of PlayStation 3s like slapped together, essentially.
Wow.
Because they were so cheap for the hardware.
For the hardware. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That doesn't surprise me, but wow. Well, because they weren't.
Make sense for some. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, please continue. No.
I was going to say it does make sense for some boxes to be like just straight up a loss of some kind.
Yeah.
Just because like the release of a new edition is huge, right? And they're going to be making their money throughout the edition. I honestly think that there's like a couple things that they should be doing that for. And it seems like they've kind of started in like the competitive space where they've been hosting like these bigger US Open tournaments, and then they did the World Championships last year. But it would be interesting to see like a little bit more stakes on stuff like that, even if it didn't make them a profit, or even I'm sure the World Championships doesn't make them any money right now. But
no,
it's an indirect like marketing move. Like it's definitely marketing where you have this big event at the end of the year.
Okay. So Justin just said, no shot they underprice a launch box. It has to be one of their best-selling products. There's a difference between a launch box, though, Justin, and like the edition box, right? You can still buy a pseudo launch box of Leviathan, but you can no longer buy it, right? So it would make sense if it's ever made sense in the past. I actually agree with what Carson was saying, right? But I think, and again, I know the hopium is strong in this one, but like, if they're ever going to do it, now is the time for Age of Sigmar. For one, actually, the first edition was probably the best time to do it. But the problem is Dominion sucked. That launch box was the worst launch box they've done. I don't know. I mean, like, Age of Sigmar 1, obviously the models don't hold up as well now, but we're talking like 9 or 10 years ago, right? Yeah, 10 years ago. So, like, we got all those amazing, like, 8th edition 40K. That thing was amazing. And I would argue that the 9th edition 40K one was the best launch box they've done to this date. And you saw how well it sold. Everyone, you couldn't buy it anywhere, right? And in fact, it was so heavily scalped that they did like that whole like made to order thing for Indominus. That's how crazy it was. For those that don't remember. Damn you, Ludivicus. He's not wrong. It all depends on the sculpts, frankly. No, it doesn't really. It mostly depends on the price. But like Dominion is such a letdown and it's such a freaking joke. And if it were 40K, they're not that worried about 40K. Like 40K just keeps going up. Obviously they have to justify it to the shareholders, right? Like, why is our best-selling product, like, why is the launch box that bad? But they never really had that. But they did have it for Age of Sigmar. And Age of Sigmar is their number 2 game, for sure, right? It's their number 2 money-making game. And so it's got to come out kicking. You know what I mean? They got to come out hot. So I think you're right. I think $300, it has 8 units. I think cardboard cutouts. It's kind of making sense to me.
Yeah. I see Keith asks in the chat, was Dominion box bad because the Cruel Boys rules were a flop, or are you saying there just wasn't enough stuff in there? I think it's a combination of things. Number one, yes, yeah. They were definitely a flop, and we can see that, their points have plummeted since the start of the edition. Yeah. But also there's some other weird stuff, like Indrast is a named character, so there's zero reason to buy multiples of the box, which kind of sucks.
I mean, there's like not zero reason, because like it's still a good value. Like if you just want the other units, you can just like give and drop and Indrasta to someone random. But yes, you make a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think they probably learned their lesson to like not put a named character in any box like this. To be honest,
that was the dumbest thing they've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've done that in the past too. Like I know that when Ossiarch Bone Reapers originally came out, and Feast of Bones, like Mortian was in that box, which was kind of
yeah. That's true. I mean, they've done it in the past, and it hasn't been as big a deal. But that's one little tiny name character too, and Indrasta was the centerpiece of that launch box. But also there's other stuff too, like for those that weren't around or don't remember or whatever, or maybe you'll just go down a trip down memory lane with me here. But when we were approaching 3rd edition, everyone thought it was going to be something cool. Like that's what AoS is. We said it at the start. We see it all the time. Age of Sigmar is where they get creative, where they go to play, where things are really funky. And then we're like, yeah, it's going to be silent ones probably, maybe Skaven, but then they've never done a destruction release, blah, blah, blah. There's all this excitement around it. It's like, oh, it's swamp orcs. And I like swamp orcs. Like I have them. I ended up buying a few sets of Dominion, and I started that. A lot of what got to me was Gobsprak, to be honest. He's the first polyglot of the Mortal Realms. But it was still a huge letdown. Like silent ones to swamp orcs. They took something that they already had, orcs, that's ubiquitous throughout fantasy, and they just changed it slightly and made it a part of the army to expand the army. Like if they had just said Auric war clans, that would have actually been more hype, to be honest. If they had been like Auric war clans and we're adding this new subsection, but they also had some more Ironjaws models and stuff. Like if we got all the giant pigs that we got now, plus some Cruel Boys, different story. Vastly different story. It would have been more hype. Not as hype as this, right? But I think they gotta bring the heat. Or AoS becomes like it really, like if they don't bring the heat this time and they have 2 bad editions in a row, Oh, that's bad for 5th edition. That's really bad.
To be clear, 2 bad edition releases in a row, because 3rd edition is actually a very good edition.
Absolutely. Sorry, yeah. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. This is my favorite war game I've ever played. Age of Sigmar 3.0 is my favorite war game I've ever played. But the launch of AoS 3 was bad. So if they have another bad release or even a mediocre one, I think it's really bad for like the shareholder. Like the shareholders will be like, "What are you doing with this franchise?" You know what I mean? I mean, maybe we won't get more Stormcast in the next launch box if that's the case. And if they retire more models, you guys knew that this was going to happen, okay? You knew that this could happen and that it was going to happen. But if they just given us the Iron Jaws refresh, yeah, in the Dominion, exactly what I was saying. Yeah, Cruel Boys as the late edition kicker, it would have flipped the script totally. Yeah, I mean, like, because they've done that before in fantasy, where it's like Orcs versus X, Orcs versus Empire and whatnot, right? So, and it's like the traditional thing. And like, if they got a little bit creative with the Orcs, yeah. Visitors launched at 195 per 5 are now 140. Yeah. I mean, the Killaboss on Great Gnashtooth was like 180, or no, I think he was 200 points in the box, and now he's like 110. The only thing that didn't go down massively was like Bolt Boys, I think, and even they went down a little bit.
No, they definitely went down quite a bit.
Well, they were like 120 or so when they came out. I think it might have been 130 in the launch box, but like I think they were 120 or 125 for most of it. I can look at the book. I have the book right here. Should I grab the book? That might be a fun little.
Yes,
sure.
I'm furiously googling it.
Okay. Rick War Clans, the San Francisco treat. Ding ding. Just left a little nice pause. Okay, so Beast Skewer Kill Bowl was 130. That's crazy. What is it now? It's a secret.
1 second, sorry.
No problem. No problem.
Trying to find it. This is why it's going to be good that they're split into 2.
Yeah. An outstanding 2021 GHB, which made the game actually fun to play.
Kilbo's 80 now.
80. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, like, we all knew that was way too... Okay, Gut Rippas are 180 in here. That I remembered. I think they were like... Well, I can't remember, but... What are they, 140 now?
You keep asking random questions? Sorry, I'm just going to pull up all the things from blocks. Gut Rippas are now 150. 150,
okay. Ard Boys... Or actually, no, that doesn't matter, because that's like a traditional orc. Break-a-Boss on Meyer Brute Troggoth was 180. That one probably isn't gone down that much, because it's pretty... That one was okay.
That one is now down to 170.
Okay, yeah. That one was good, though. Killaboss on Great Gnashtooth in the book was 170. So I was wrong about that. I think it was I'm almost positive it was 180 in the launch box, though. Because this is the codex. This is the book. So that's not the same thing. Yeah.
Well, it's now 110.
110. That's the one I called. Yeah. That's a big drop. That might be the biggest one. Killaboss with Stabgrot 110.
Now 80.
Jeez. Belchabana 95. 95.
Belchabana is now 60.
Jeez. 60? Yeah, it's crazy. The Swamp Caller Shaman is 105 in here. Such a dumb price.
I'm sorry.
It's
sorry.
okay.
It's just 100 now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good. Gobsprack, this is going to be funny. I remembered he was 300. He went down to 280 almost instantly. And I think he's like 210?
240 now.
240. Oh, okay. He's worth it now in this current edition, though. Corpse Killa or Killa Boss on Corpse Ripa Vulture, Corpse Ripa Vulture 240.
Sorry,
It's okay.
We're 190 now.
Okay. 240 to 190. Jeez. Snatch a Boss on Sludge Raker it was 315.
And it is 290 now.
290. I was going to say 280. Swamp Boss Scumdreck was 320.
It is now 270.
Oh, wow. 50 points. Slitta's 80. Hobgrot Slittas, I should say.
They started at 80?
Yeah, apparently.
They're still 80.
Okay. That makes sense. They're good. Manskewer Bolt Boys 120, which is, I believe, what I said.
They are still 120.
Oh, There you go.
Maybe I was thinking of the Killbow. Never mind.
The Killbow, yeah, the Killbow went way down. What about Dobby? Marsh Crawler Slogoth. That's the last one, anyway. Yeah, it totally is. It might be too cheap now. I agree, Asri. It's always been good.
Slogoth is 170 now.
Oh, huh. There you go. There you go. SE Cronus and IDK Turtles are the most impressive differences for you. Yeah, the Turtles were... Honestly, like, the Turtles are usable now. I'm not sure that Cronus and... I mean, they're usable now, for sure. Like, with their most recent one, but... Yeah, that was a huge difference. The Eels were huge, too. Yeah, Glotkin's crazy. What's crazier, though, is that our buddy Matthias, friend of the channel or whatever, he won the Tacoma Open with the Glotkin when he was at his highest point. He was like 700 and whatever, 20 points or something crazy. He's like Kragnos level. But the Eels were really crazy, too. Like, and I know what happened because, like, a lot of people couldn't figure out Eels in AoS 1. So then when we got, AoS 1 and 2. And then when we got the 3rd edition book, they were like 190 points. And they've gone down at least twice since then. I think they're 170 right now. But yeah, that was a big deal. Glotkin is a plague. Nastiest thing in the game. As an ogre player, Glotkin offends me. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, our buddy Dale, who was in here earlier, that's the thing he hates the most in the entire game. Because it's just frustrating to play against. It's kind of just an NPE if you play against a really strong player like Matthias, you know? Yeah.
I remember the very first GT.
Sorry. Keith said, but Rob, imagine if they pointed every unit based on how well Matthias does with them. He makes an excellent point because he's made a few things look a lot better than they were.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff out there that, if in the hands of a very good player, is super, super impressive. And then there's also stuff out there that it's kind of just like you kind of just have to figure it out. And then once you do, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I remember the first... Or no, this would have been the second ever GT game I ever did. Which was Cake or Death last year. Was against Matthias.
Right.
And I had heard so many things about him. I was just like, oh my god, like he's like a Team Canada player. He's gonna like kick my ass. Like it's gonna be rough. And I remember he countercharged the Glotkin where I didn't get too close to it because he told me about the rule. And I was like maybe 10 inches away, and the Glotkin just rolls like boxcars and charges into the Stonehorn. And the Stonehorn just dunks on him.
Yeah. Of course he did.
Matthias was just like, oh, okay. And just didn't recover from that point on. And I feel like I was handed luck against Matthias the first time I ever played him, and then it just hasn't stopped.
That's right. I forgot about That's true. I forgot about the rock, paper, scissors of you, Dale, and Matthias.
Yeah, exactly. In tournaments specifically, Matthias has beaten me many times. That's fair. It's kind of fun figuring out if something does in fact have a niche or if it's actually just hot garbo. That's so true. And I that's the nice thing about me or my situation too, is when I'm not playing in tournament, it doesn't matter. There's no, I make an ass of myself in battle reports regardless of whether I win or lose. So I might as well just have fun and try things out and get to do kind of Johnny type things and Timmy type things,
Titus says, I'm going to point out that I'm not going to buy anything until I have the new War Scrolls for my army. What army is that, Tida? I'm interested. I mean, I think a lot of people are... I think there's two camps, right? Like, one camp is, are you in a launch box or not? Because that's like a different thing. You know what I mean? Whereas, like let's say you have... I cannot beat Carson's dice. Yes. If you've been watching the last two battle reports, you're absolutely right. And what's crazy, too, is I used the meat dice against Kenrick, and he was rolling way better than me in that game. You know? So, yeah. Maybe the problem is just me, Asri. That might be it.
I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. If you roll 10 charges in the same charge phase, you're bound to get something crazy.
That's true. That's true. Although you're... Your naughty, what are they called? The guys who jump in. Gorgers, yeah. Man, that's the 1-1. Oh, man. If you guys haven't seen that short, it blew up. It was like 10,000 views on it. Carson's been making those, by the way, and they're all so good. I don't have the brain for that. I never did.
Yeah, I've been embracing my inner Gen Z.
Gen Z, yeah, exactly.
It's making like TikTok-esque shorts.
He does all these really smart things in everyday life, so he's got to do like something that's kind of like lower brain level, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A little smooth brain.
Yeah,
just
flossing and yeah.
Flossing.
It's not even current stuff. Like
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's like the dad like equivalent too.
Yeah.
Oh man. You might be a father. You just don't know it. I'm going to buy the 4.0 launch box, put it on my shelf, and wait. That's interesting. Skaven, Sons of Behemat, Khorne, Fireslayers, and FEC. So are you not going to get the launch box, Tida? Like, I don't know about you, but like, I've been waiting for a new Skaven for 8 years, ever since I got back into the hobby. And all I've wanted was new models. Like, I don't care what the War Scrolls are. I don't care how bad the army is. All I wanted was new Skaven models. Like, I wanted them to bring them alive. And like, you know, it did suck when we got coalesced, right? We got coalesced, and like their armies were, their War Scrolls are not great. You know what I mean? They hit on 4s, low rend. You know, they're pretty survivable, but they're not that much fun to play. And it's true, although you haven't seen me play them on the channel as much. Part of that is because like everyone just kind of hates on Seraphon, even if you're playing Coalesced. But also part of it is, they're not as much fun. So it would suck if like the new War Scrolls aren't cool and fun, and the army isn't as much fun to play. But all I need is new models for Skaven. We'll get cool new rules. We'll get good rules eventually. Like that will happen, right? Like Nighthaunt, they weren't the most powerful army, but their reimagining in 3rd edition was cool. The whole run and charge on the whole army moves 8 inches, the effects when you charge in, like there's so many cool things. Are you having technical problems?
No.
Okay.
My goblin just arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My dog.
You're push to talk.
Retreat and charge, not run and charge.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Yes, that is. I know. I'm an idiot, but you already knew that. Every time I get frustrated with the Gorgers for not doing anything for 3 straight games, they come along and steal. I steal 8 command points in a game. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were going to say you were like living vicariously through Carson, where it's just like they never do anything for me, but then I watch Carson and they're awesome. But
yeah, no, it's the exact same thing for me. Like some games, they're just useless. Actually, in our Seraphon game that we made recently, I remember they failed every single 5-up to deny the CP, and then they failed a 3-inch charge into some skinks. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't.
Where I was just like, all right, surely these guys will make it, and they just like snake eyes, and they only gave me army without +1, and I was like, well, I'm not a CP, so I guess.
That was a while ago, hey?
Yeah, it was. It was like a month ago at this point.
The Seraphon versus...
It didn't come out a month ago. We probably recorded it a month ago.
Really?
Seraphon versus Ogres?
It's way more than a month ago.
No, it wasn't. It was one of the new ones in the new studio. Eric?
I'm sorry. I thought you meant against my Seraphon. That's why
no.
okay. I'm sorry. I was just like, I haven't played Seraphon in like since in this year probably on the channel. Okay, I got you now. That makes sense. Nighthawk in 3rd edition was way overtuned. So when they adjusted it, it all fell apart. Yet, I don't know that it was way overtuned because they really didn't do that much to it, in my opinion, Asri. Like, we never really saw a crazy win rate out of them, but it had its kind of problems from the beginning, which they've sort of adjusted lately, which is the 1-inch reach on like units that are 32 millimeters, and they're, you know what I mean, 32 millimeter bases and 10 models minimum. It's just like, okay, it's like the whole Thrall problem all over again. But yeah, it did fall apart. They did like very slight nerfs to them, and it fell apart pretty quick. But like, if you meant like it was over designed, then I definitely agree with that. I think there's just too much going on. I think they're hard to pilot because you got to, and you don't. It's not like what kind of buffs and debuffs you're going to get out of your charges and whatnot. So, but you can layer it on pretty well, and I don't know. Yeah, I think they're hard to like the way they design them. They're hard to balance, I think, at the right time when the battalion allowed them to fight. That's true, actually. That was a big deal too. Yeah, I forgot about that because that was during what's it called? Veterans? Galatian, yeah. And what was the one where you get the bounty hunters? Bounty hunters was, but then they have Cruel Gas Cruciator who can just take away that damage anyway, right? In a big giant circle. So yeah, I found the best way to get a unit to perform is to refer to them as these idiots and these goobers when talking to your opponent and saying what they are doing. That's true. I do that myself, actually. It works quite well.
I said it about myself.
Yep, me too.
This goober is going to take the first turn. And this it going for magical dominance.
Yeah, even though I'm within 30 inches of you. Yeah.
And then no response, because it turns out I was saying that in the mirror 6 inches away from it.
Shouting it.
Shouting.
Your girl's just
Far
like,
more explicit.
shut up for the last time.
Magical dominance.
I don't care about your redeploy. Oh, man. Best example I experienced was when I told the Nighthawk player he was -1 to wound the Stonehorn, and his reply was, I'm getting +1 to wound from 3, maybe 4 sources. I'm fine. Yeah, there's a spell, and there is the Guardian of Souls, and man, it might be on the, what do you call it? The little goobers. Chain Rasp Horde? I can't remember now. Nighthawk is not my army, but my son used to play them, so I remember some things. Carson improves his event results by being a jerk to himself in the mirror. That is true. That's true. If you ever want Carson to feel love, you insult him. And if you want him to be frustrated, you compliment him. People think I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. This is actually true.
What I feel. It's more so like, it's not that that's opposite. It's
that's what
how well I do.
Yes, I know, but this is how it's perceived by other people.
Okay.
Yeah. So like,
that's fair.
That like, I don't actually think that your results are tied to if I say nice things or good things to you. I just know how you feel about it.
I think actually it is a psychological thing, to be honest. Like,
oh yeah.
The more I'm probably going to lose a game, the better I tend to do.
Yeah.
And obviously people saying stuff like, you're the overweight Monopoly man and stuff like that probably isn't going to help my gameplay. but
I've never said anything like that. I usually just say general insults. I don't try to actually get personal.
Pringles guy got to do his own supply. How about that?
You look like a porn star version of Mr. Clean. That was new, by the way, because I've never actually thought about saying something that's actually personal. I would just tell you you're a horrible person, or you're a piece of crap, or something.
Dale usually says like dogs hate you.
Oh.
You're a politician. You're like lots of.
No,
like he gets very personal.
No kidding. Politician. Those are fighting words.
If you crunch this, I hope you do great at bad advice. And
yeah. Screw you, guy. I think it might be the last time he comes to Battered Bison. Just kidding.
Too late to refund the
Damn.
ticket, that is. I
Damn, see? What did I tell you, Beefy? Actually, by the way, we did see Beefy post the dice. They look really cool.
Yeah, the Battered Bison. It looks like you guys are going to have some pretty awesome swag.
Yeah, it's really cool swag. When is that again?
That is in 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
It's June 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, I was going to say early June. So that's, yeah. So if you guys are in the Winnipeg area.
Or even if you're not. Like, I'm flying from
No,
Vancouver.
yeah, that's true. I meant like, well, it's kind of hard to, that's true. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Wherever you are in the world, I don't care if you're in Antarctica, you still have time to get to Battered Bison. How about that? Did I improve it?
Exactly.
Harridans with a wounded unit nearby and something else. I must have missed something. Sorry, guys. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. That's true. I don't have Harridans, or my son doesn't. I was thinking of, something else. It doesn't matter. Crying on the inside, but winning games. Not sure that's worth it. Yeah. That's how he gets by. If I ever play Carson...
we drink after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I ever play Carson, it begins with a compliment and a warm embrace, and then hopefully I wreck him.
Probably true.
Yeah. I hope you do great. Oh, yeah, that's right. Carson withdraws from tournament. Listed reasons. Tio was nice to me. Yeah, the exit survey. Why did you withdraw your ticket? The Tio was nice to me. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Nice. Still no idea what I'm going to bring to Battered Bison. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, if you want my balls. I'm talking to my balls. If you want, we could do a vote. We could do a vote in the chat and in the comment section if you're willing to abide by it or whatever. You don't have to, but if you're
how about you give us 4 options and we'll create a poll in the chat.
Yeah, and then we can also do the comments and we'll give you an out of the Discord as well in case you're just like, yeah, people message me on the Discord, see? But yeah, give us 4 options, and you don't have to stick by it, so whatever. You could like put. He's like, I've only got 2 armies. Like, oh right, I forgot you were a sensible person. My balls.
I don't think he does. He doesn't have 2 armies.
You think he only has 2 armies?
No, I said I don't think he does.
Oh, okay,
Based
okay.
on what I've heard on Discord.
That's fair.
This is all part of Carson's master plan, so within a few short years, everyone's really nice to him. No. It's not true at all.
And see, what he's doing now is it's like the whole, which side is the poison in, right?
Exactly. But it's both sides.
He's trying to obfuscate.
If you're mean to me, then I eat you, I guess. And then if you're nice to me, then you're nice to me. So
that's true. It's win-win.
Win for me.
That's true. Oryx?
Orcs with metal. Orcs with poison. Orcs but naked. Or ogres. Okay,
Ooh.
well, ogres is the correct choice, but I'm going to put all those into a poll.
Yeah. Oryx. Oryx with metal. So we got... Oh, I see. So that's Big Wah, Iron Jaws, Cruel Boys, Bone Splitters, or Ogres. That's 5. But that's fine. Oh, man. I know what it's going to be in the chat. I'm not going to say it. I'll message it to Carson if you guys want receipts. But I think I know what the chat is going to pick. To go out in style?
4 options? Oh, you can only do 4 options on a poll.
Oh, okay. Well then just take out Big Wah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take out Big Wah. Yeah.
That's the coward's way out anyway.
Yeah.
He'll probably play Big Wah just to spite us now. Nice. Okay. Can I click on it? Oh, I actually don't know what to pick. I got in here. I'm not picking what I think it's going to be. Okay. Oh, I gotta go to the browser. I can't vote within.
Step.
Yeah. What? Oh wait.
Can you guys see the current?
Oh, you
results,
created it on here, so now I can't vote.
Yeah, I can only create it on the sagaofdice account.
Right, and I can't vote in it. Okay, well then that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll say what my vote. Damn. That is.
Can everyone see the results, or is
I
it
don't
just
think
me?
so. I think it's just me. It's just us two.
Okay, we've got 6 votes so far. Make sure everybody votes. And while you're voting, that's a good time to go ahead and like this video.
That's
Maybe,
true.
Subscribe if you're not subscribed.
I'm so bad about that.
Maybe say something mean to me in chat. Is
Yep.
a good luck token for my next tournament.
Yeah, or in the comments section if you're watching this later.
Oh, let's say we can. Okay, so you see that it's 6 votes.
Oh, okay.
7% bone splitters so far. So it kind of seems like it's bone splitters.
It's looking
Which,
like
to be
bones.
honest, as one last hurrah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So.
Something mean to me. God damn it, Warpstone.
Well played, Warpstone, and welcome, as usual. Thanks for joining us. I was good. You know what's crazy? So I'll just straight up tell you guys, I thought it was going to be ogres because we got Beefy in the chat. We got a bunch of ogres players. So I was like, well, obviously they're going to vote for ogres. It's the one thing that's not orcs. But I think that comment from someone said to go out in style. I've lost it now, and it's also being covered up on my screen because of stupid.
Justin.
Justin, was it Justin? Yeah. Bone Splitters is like a great. That's a great call, but I think it was like also kind of a call to action in a way where people were like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he makes a good point, but. Oh yeah, there will be Beasts of Chaos as well. If Beasts of Chaos was on there, I would have 100% voted for Beasts of Chaos. Nice. Wait, BW, is that Bone Splitters?
Big wall. BWB.
Oh, Big Wall. Yeah, right. Again, I can't. They have to go way up. Actually, I guess I can see it over here.
Also, I'm glad Beefy Crunch clarified in the chat, but I was like, I'm pretty sure Beefy isn't an ogre's player. Like,
oh, really?
He was Zinch LDO, if I remember correctly.
Oh, shoot! Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know because we actually talked a little bit about it, but I guess why don't we? Okay, we'll give like 2 more minutes. So vote now if you guys want to vote in the chat, and there is the comment section. Don't forget. For those watching this in the far distant future of like up to an hour from now, but I don't know. I think it's just my natural bias is why I was thinking Iron Jaws for myself. I wanted to vote Iron Jaws for myself, even though I thought Ogres was going to be what the chat picked.
Yeah, you almost started Iron Jaws, didn't you?
I bought Iron Jaws actually.
Oh right.
Yeah, I bought Iron Jaws during COVID. I love the idea of a really simple army that runs around and fights good. You know what I mean? Like the ultimate Timmy army. And I have an idea. Like I'm not gonna say what it was because I think it's pretty cool, and there's a good chance that I do them at some point because I have Cruel Boys right now, right? But yeah, we'll see. You know, yeah, I would love to play them. Like if we had a studio army, I would love to play them. Yeah, but
yeah, that would be fun. Also, my bolt says, so how many people will fall for the old ball sack maneuver? I wonder. What could that possibly mean? I don't know what that means.
You've got us really curious.
The nuts and then yeah. Your score?
yeah. Is that when you just say, like, I want to play Rochambeau and they don't know what that is? So Zeech, Seraphon, IDK are your mains. Those are great choices. I have all 3 of those armies, but I only play 2 of them properly. Seraphon and IDK are like my secondary armies. IDK, Skaven obviously, IDK. I don't know that actually. You know what? Seraphon. I can't really say Seraphon is like a main army for me. Nice. No one voted ogres. I couldn't have been more wrong. It's some Bone Splitters tech. What do they do in Toronto? Wait, what is that referring to?
Maybe Maballs is from
Oh,
Toronto?
maybe.
I don't actually know where Maballs is from.
I don't know where my balls are from.
Down under. That's where they're from.
New Ard Boys, me too, Keith, and the giant pigs, and I've loved the Maw Crusher from the beginning. It's one of my favorite models they've ever made. The only thing I don't like about it is the giant ass pie plate that it's on, but whatever.
Yeah. Bone Splitters actually like kind of scares me only for the reason that I have literally never played against Bone Splitters.
Right. Yeah.
So someone could just be like, "Yeah, it does this." I'll be like, "Oh God."
hit up Hillary.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm probably not going to be getting a practice game in just for Bone Splitters. In the next
Fair
couple
enough.
weeks, so.
The off chance you get paired up against my balls.
And even if I did, I'm sure it's not. It's a Destruction Army. It's going to be probably
That's true.
pretty easy to explain. From what I understand, they just have like a ton of models on the board.
Yep.
And they all have wards.
Yeah.
They can have like a better ward for a WA. And
Oh, and the Wargog Prophet, which you already know from Big Wah.
yeah.
The best use for your big Stabas when they go from AoS. Use them to replace your flight stands for your 40k or diff coffers. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I don't know if that's the best use, but it's a good one. We'll give you that. Six Wargog Prophets. Lasering you. Yeah. Only one of them with the what are they called? Tattoos. The artifact that gives them the 4-up ward.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so great. I mean, so we obviously very clearly don't know what's going to be in the launch box, but we will be watching it live on Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Homelander. I don't know what that refers to. Other than the boys, obviously. But is there anything else we want to talk about? Or did anyone have anything in the chat before? I think we covered all, like, we kind of waffled this into a full episode of almost pure nonsense, but yeah. I couldn't be more excited, guys. This is my time. I was saying to Pat the other day, I've got like homemade Skaven whiskey glasses. You know what I mean? A hoodie. I've got that, like, those are two things that I've like made. And then I've got like a Skaven wallet, toque, or beanie you'd call it in the States. Like, I've got all this paraphernalia. You know, my wife made me a Warpstone amulet. Like, my God, do I love this army. So this Thursday, it's like, this is better than Christmas. I'm literally looking forward to this more than Christmas. And I love Christmas, right? Obviously. Who doesn't like Christmas, right? But, oh man, this is so exciting. I hope you guys will be there to watch. Oh yeah, book 6, Dawnbringers. Man, they really should have come out with that sooner. Like,
yeah, no one's gonna care.
No one cares. Is it going to come out after Age of Sigmar, like 4.0? That's the only way that someone cares.
Could you imagine if they just keep releasing Dawnbringers books past
Yeah,
AoS 4?
exactly. That's what I was thinking. That would be super funny.
That'd bring Dawnbringers 14.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get people more into the AoS lore, because that's something that they need to work on for sure. Right, I forgot all about that, Beefy. Hey, thanks. Yeah, Ledivicus and Keith, you guys are always so nice to say those nice things. You know, we're happy to do it. I was saying to Carson, this is like one of my favorite things that we do on the channel. It's easy and it's fun, and we get to interact with you guys, and I genuinely enjoy it each week. So yeah, It'd be funny to have 4th edition rules in Dawnbringer 6. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Keith, please. Yes, we used to get that for AoS, and we don't anymore. He said a narrative book for AoS every 12 months. Yeah, some kind of campaign book. They tried it with Thondia, and they just didn't do it well enough. And then I think they took the wrong information. They were like, these things don't do so well. It's like, well, if you make them good, then they will. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just anyway, give us something, right? But yeah, thanks to everyone for hanging out with us. I had a blast as usual. I'm going to leave those fine pecs up on the screen. And hopefully we get a nice big giant launch box. We'll see you guys at 5, or it starts at 5, but we always start a little bit early. The time will probably be set for 45, but we usually start 10 minutes early. Maybe we'll start 15 minutes earlier, but whatever. It'll start a little bit early, and and we'll set up the preview, whatever. So yeah, but yeah, thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.